Good afternoon. I don't hear it. I hear it. Hello. 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 Good afternoon. Welcome to the regular city council meeting. You know what? I'm supposed to bang the gavel to start the meeting, but I don't see a gavel, so bang, bang.
It's not in the bin, the gavel.
This is the August 6, 2025 regular city council meeting. The time is 6:08. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Douglas Lawson.
Here.
Chairperson Shirley Lanier.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Kashama Miller Anderson.
Present.
Councilperson Bruce Guyton.
Here.
Councilperson Glenn Spiritus.
Here.
Councilperson Priscilla Davis Penier.
Here.
City Manager Jonathan Evans.
Present.
Acting City Clerk Deborah Hall is present. City Attorney Don Nguyen.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. We will have a moment of silence followed by the pledge, but before we do that, as we begin tonight's meeting, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our theme, New Opportunities Continuing to Build Through Forward Progress. This theme reflects our ongoing commitment to move Riviera Beach forward with purpose, unity, and vision. It is now my honor to welcome a leader who exemplifies that spirit, Reverend Jai Ingram, pastor of Allen Temple AME Church here in our great city. Since October 24th, Pastor Ingram and his wife, Akila, have been steadfast in their service, not just within the church, but throughout our community, making sure that the people's needs are met and that God's love is felt. Reverend Ingram brings over 20 years of professional and academic experience across education, ministry, and public engagement. He served in roles ranging from the Director of Contract Compliance with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools to Chief Diversity Officer at Jacksonville State University. He holds a bachelor's degree in political science from Clark Atlanta University and a master's from FIU. He's also a published author, a noted speaker, and a proud member of several organizations, including Toastmasters International and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. Reverend Ingram.
I started to say good morning, but it isn't morning. It is 6 o'clock in the evening. Good evening to everyone. Good evening, Pastor. To Mayor Lawson, to Council Chair Lanier, and to all that are here present this evening, I am humbled to stand before you to share in this invocation. If you would allow me, before I begin the invocation, I would like to share just a small bit of scripture from Psalms 91. Listen to the words of the Lord. The one who lives under the protection of the Most High dwells in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say concerning the Lord, who is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Let us pray. Most high and most reverend God, it is in this time that we come to thank you for your presence, for your power, and for your prosperity. Dear Heavenly Father, we come on behalf of the city of Riviera Beach, God, to thank you for the new opportunities that are coming that you've created for us, God. We thank you for the time of being able to move forward in progress, and we pray for healing, God. With new opportunities, we have opportunities to move in new directions, God, to do those things that you've called us to do, to serve. And we pray right now for the leadership of the city of Riviera Beach, God. Everyone that works for the city, that cares about the city, and whatever their place may be, God, give them your wisdom, give them your strength, give them your power and your compassion to continue to do good work and not to be weary in well-doing. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray right now for the people, the citizens of Riviera Beach, God. We ask that you would allow them to cast their cares upon you, to know that over the years that they have been kept by you and that everything that they need will be supplied because they know they can call on you for those things that they need. And we ask for the city to continue to have a spirit of love, service, and compassion to help to find solutions to problems as opportunities for cohesiveness and engagement and love for humanity. And God, as we work through building together, Help us to have strong strength, a faithful heart, and a mind to be steadfast on those things that are going to be positive, that are going to be powerful, and that are going to uplift humanity to continue to do things for all of humanity. And all those that love the Lord said, amen.
If we can have all of our students that are if we can have all the students with Swimming Clean with Captain Green, come join us at the front mic. All the graduating students, come to the front. You're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, guys. Come on to the front. You guys are going to look this way. Hand over your chest. Flags right here, guys. Everybody look this way. All right? And go ahead and get started. Thank you, guys. If all of our students can follow Mr. Kalen, my intern, take Kalen, all the kids to the back room. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mayor Lawson. Let us get into the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions for the agenda this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I'd like to add severance packages to the agenda.
Where do you want to add it to, sir?
Right after the awards and presentations.
Okay. So that will be, what is that, Madam Clerk?
Regular item.
After the items 6D, following that, we go into the regular agenda with resolutions, and after that, we have discussion and deliberation. So did you want to make that?
No, it's right after the awards and presentations,
So you want to make that a 6E, or
whatever that number is.
that would come after, the last awards and presentations is item 6D, so that we want to make that 6E.
Any other additions, deletions, or substitutions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
would it be possible would the board entertain moving Swimming Clean with Captain Green to right after Representative Caruso's presentation?
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
I'd also like to add additions on the awards and presentations for the chairperson awards. That'll be 6F.
Okay.
And I'd also like to add under the consent agenda 2 student appointments to the Riviera Beach Education Advisory Board. For Michaela Martin and the other student, I don't see that is listed. Mr. Brown, do I have 2 students on here or one? Okay, so we have 1 student who's being appointed to the Riviera Beach Education Advisory Board, and that's Michaela Martin. I'd like to add that to our consent agenda.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
usually when I think for the last appointments, didn't they provide like a resume or some sort of documents or something? Do we have anything like that for this?
We can ask for her report card.
The clerk has a letter of recommendation and interest.
The letter of interest, the clerk has a letter of interest from her? Okay. Could the clerk provide that to the city council, please?
What were the names again?
It was just one name, Michaela Martin. She's a student from, let me read this to you. A dedicated student who comes highly recommended by both her school counselor and principal, and who has submitted a thoughtful letter of interest expressing her desire to serve and contribute meaningfully to the work of the board. For clarity, the Office of the Mayor will be submitting their replacement appointee at our next meeting on August the 20th, as we are currently awaiting the completed application. Additionally, we are in the process of confirming the second student's willingness to serve, and that appointment will also be brought forth at the August 20th meeting. We reached out to several high schools located in Riviera Beach, as well as those outside the city that Riviera Beach serves. The only responses we received were from Palm Beach Lakes High School and Palm Beach Gardens High School. And if anybody have recommendations for a student for our Education Advisory Board, I would please contact us so that we can reach those students.
And I just have one other question.
Sure.
No, I see it. Thank you. That's all right.
So you can add that, Madam Clerk, under 3C.
Yes, ma'am. I have it.
Councilwoman Miller Anderson will have the student come back at the next meeting to make a presentation. I mean, you want to see them.
The other people didn't go.
All right. All right, very good. Is there any other additions, deletions, or substitutions? Are there any disclosures from the council or staff in regards to any of these items that are listed on this agenda? Hearing none, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Penier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus, Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Yes. Could we get some water up here for the council people, please?
Text Dante to bring water.
This is our consent agenda. Our matters listed under this item are considered to be routine, and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a council person so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Do anyone want to pull anything from the consent agenda? There are 3 items. Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Penier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Thank you. Next item was in presentation 6A.
Item 6A, recap of 2025 legislation session for Representative Mike Caruso, highlighting important bills and past appropriations.
Thank you. Am I recognized?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you. Chair Lanier,
Welcome.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson, Mayor Lawson, members, council members. It is so exciting to be here tonight, and Riviera Beach is just, it's happening. And I'm so excited about it. A lot of things going on in this city, all for the good. As we stand here in the most unbelievable firehouse, I think, in the whole county, if not the whole state. And so, you know what, Chief Curd, you were sitting there a minute ago. Where'd you go? I don't see you anymore. But wow, great work that you guys have done to get this whole thing built. I know there's a second one down the road, and it's just amazing. And I saw Chief Coleman in here earlier. I don't know where he is. There you are, Chief. We are excited that we were able to bring back an appropriation for the chief for a training facility of $500,000, and that's the chaser, I guess, Chief, to the mobile command center. We got $750,000 for a couple of years ago. So you know, we'll keep on keeping on, I think is the message here, to keep Riviera Beach growing and prosperous. So I'm excited to be here. You know, this session this year was unlike any session I've had in the last 7 years I've been in the Florida House. It was more about stopping bad legislation rather than championing the best legislation. I believe that there was some misguided priorities, and infighting among leadership, and it really turned out to be one of the most unproductive sessions, I think, in Florida over the last couple decades. It's strange, as I say. You know, we had, and what it did is it failed to deliver results to Floridians, and that's the sad part of it. We had so much work to do, like lowering insurance rates, hardening our homes against hurricanes, affordable housing projects to get, you know, approved and paid for, tax holidays that I know, you know, we've got the kids back there, and a tax holiday right now as we speak for school supplies. You know, instead of working on that, we worked on some strange things, such as trying to repeal tort reform so that our property insurance would go up. And I fought hard against that, and because I think we need to go the other way. Our insurance rates need to go down. Not just property insurance, but car insurance and health insurance. They filed 4 bills this year that I had to fight against, which would have raised our car insurance, our health insurance, and our property insurance. And we fought hard. Sometimes I think I was the only one standing. And we got those bills. We killed the bills. So hopefully you'll see your insurance rates going down. Another piece of legislation which we worked hard to stop was there was a bill nicknamed it the amnesty bill. The governor and I fought hard to kill that one too. It was going to make it illegal for our police from a city, county, and state level to work with ICE, to go into 287G agreements with ICE, and so we fought hard against that, and we ended up passing, after weeks of political debate, we passed immigration reform, which made it legal for our law enforcement throughout the state to work with ICE and other things. So we did that, and that was a very encompassing bill. Lastly, there was a bill. You know, like I said, it's about things we stopped. One of the things we stopped, there was a bill that was going to end CRAs. We know how important CRAs are, and to our development of our communities and that sort of thing. Well, just as crazy as the other bills were, they were going to try to kill CRAs. We fought hard and killed that bill. Another one was a bill to end the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. These bills I'm saying these bills made it all the way to the House floor. Okay, I mean they went through committee and everything, and we fought hard. Now, getting rid of the Department of Business Professional Regulation, what they were going to do is end licensing. No more CPA licenses, architect licenses, engineering licenses, or contractor licenses. We killed that bill, and I see Chair Lanier aghast here. You know, and so we managed to kill that bill. That one. That almost made it through, but very end, because they extended session, it didn't get included in the extended session, but it was marching forward. Now, what did we do? So I came to the Florida House 7 years ago, and one of the priorities I had was to eliminate the commercial rent tax, and that's if you rent property for your business, you pay sales tax on your rent. So let's say you're paying $1,000 a month. Well, you had to pay $1,070 for years. And then, so over the last 7 years, I've worked it down, and finally we're getting rid of it as of October 1st. There will be no more commercial sales tax on rents. And so that's that's something we managed to get done. Another great bill is the second launch of My Safe Florida Condos program, and that's where we offered money up to $150,000 for a condo to harden their facility against hurricanes, and condominiums could apply to the state, get $150,000 and use it to put in hurricane glass or whatever they needed to do and improve their seawall, whatever it was. We renewed that this year. That was a pilot program last year. I think we had $30 million allocated for it. We're allocating $150 million to it this year, and we upped the amount to $175,000. And whereas before 100% of the condo owners had to approve it, Now only 75,000 have to approve it. And it's a grant, so I can't see why anybody would want to do it, but there were residents out there that just, to spite the board members, would say no, and they didn't get their free $150,000. So another bill, SB 1730, continued the work of the Live Local Act, which is important, to put forth affordable housing in the state of Florida. My wife's here, Tracy. Oh, I forgot to introduce her. My wife, Tracy, is here. She serves as chair of the Palm Beach County Housing and Finance Authority, which is the one that approves all the projects of affordable housing in the county. And Caitlin McComber is my district aide. And if you ever need me, you probably go through her to talk to me. But otherwise, you just call me directly. I'm at 561-702-9319. And that's my cell phone number. But the Live Local Act, we needed to do that. The budget this year, all of the other states throughout the country were increasing their budgets, 3% all the way up to 17%, one of the states, 17% increase in the budget. State of Florida, we cut our budget by 2%. We cut it by $2 billion. And because we just trying to prepare for the future. We put a lot of money towards debt. We put money into savings included in that budget. And but we are trying to be as penny wise as we can in the state of Florida, and that's why we have the #1 credit rating in the whole country right now. Where's our money go? I'd say about half of our money goes to Health and Human Services, which most of it is Medicaid. Okay, big chunk of that. In this case, $48 billion. Education, $32 billion for education. That includes K through 20, which is college. And right now we increased our per student funding of our K through 12 to $9,500 per student. And that's, when I give you an idea how rich that is, when I started, funding was less than $6,000 per student 7 years ago. So we've increased it significantly. With regards to the university and college system, we have not raised college tuition in the last 12 years in the state of Florida. And so we're excited and proud that we can say that we have not raised tuition in our colleges and our universities for 12 years, making it more affordable for our local residents and Floridians to go to school, so in college, or get a degree, an AA degree from the state university. Of course, we had tax holidays. We're in one right now. Every August, back to school sales tax holiday, which includes clothing under $100, school supplies under $50. Learning aids under $30, and personal computers under $1,500. You can get a personal computer, let's say it costs $1,000, you're going to save $70 in sales tax if you buy it right now. So that's one thing we did. A permanent sales tax exemption on event tickets, state park admissions, life jackets, sunscreen, bikes, helmets, insect repellents. Some of the things that you just never thought about, but you'll save 7% on those. Permanent exemptions for disaster preparation. So if you're going to go buy a generator or other items for your home, flashlights, things like that for the hurricanes, you won't be paying any sales tax ever again on that stuff. And then to support workforce housing, we included $164 million for SHIP and $72 million for SAIL, the two different programs for affordable housing. And then we allocated $50 million towards Hometown Heroes. I could go on and on. I wanted to leave a couple minutes for questions if you had them for me. Again, it's so cool to see all the kids. Did we give out school supplies today? Is that what was going on? Okay, great. You kids excited for going back to school Monday? Is it Monday? You excited? I always love school because it's the one place where all my friends went. I got to go play with them. I got to go see them and play with them. It was cool. So, any questions?
I want to ask you about that Hometown Heroes. What was that about?
That is a program to provide down payments and closing cost assistance for first-time home buyers, while it also added members of the State Guard to the list of eligible participants. So if you're first responder, if you are military, then you can, and military includes the State Guard. I think we have 1,700 members in the State Guard. Then you're eligible to get money for down payment closing costs, which I think it's a great thing. Help people get into a home, especially with the cost of homes these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for Representative Caruso?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Rep. Caruso, I want to first say thank you for the great work on securing the funds for our police department. We wanted to make sure that we honored you for the work you've been doing in Tallahassee.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
A lot of the community and some of the individuals that may not know you, Madam Chair, if I could just read this quick bio from Rep. Caruso. Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Representative Caruso, who serves in District 87, Florida House of Representatives, which includes part of Palm Beach County, City of Riviera Beach, was elected in 2018. Rep. Caruso has been a strong voice in Tallahassee for fiscal responsibility, public safety, infrastructure, investment, and government accountability. A certified accountant by trade, he brings a deep understanding of financial and policy to the legislative process, and throughout his tenure, he's been a consistent advocate for his constituents, fighting for critical funding, economic development, and resources to support local communities, especially underserved and coastal areas. Rep. Caruso's leadership, integrity, and commitment to public service continue to be a meaningful impact across the district, the state, especially here in Riviera Beach. And one of the things that I want all of the residents to understand, Representative Caruso has fought across party lines to make sure that we're supported here in Riviera Beach. And I just want to thank you, Representative Caruso, and continue to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm honored by your comments. Thank you.
Mr. Caruso, we have a presentation for you. Yes.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rep.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Representative Caruso. We'll go to our next item, which is 6D that we changed around, the swimming clean with Captain Green.
Yes, Madam Chair. Item 6D was moved forward under presentations. Swimming clean with Captain Green, which will be presented by Eric Range, the Chief of Staff for Mayor Douglas Lawson. Mayor Douglas Lawson.
Thank you.
Mayor Douglas Lawson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this item is actually an item to acknowledge some of our community advocates and leader in the city of Riviera Beach. We have a young man that's been providing swimming lessons to the students and to the residents of Riviera Beach, just out of his support and cater to make sure they can swim. Safety in our community and teaching them the importance. So tonight I wanted to honor the students that graduated from Swimming Clean with Captain Green, and we're going to acknowledge them. If I can have my intern for the summer, Mr. Kalen Hansen, come to the front.
No, good.
He's here.
He's okay. All right, congratulations, everyone. Can I please have Alasia Adams? Congratulations, Alasia Adams. May I please have Dion Adalfe? Next up, congratulations to Kyla Bostic. Can I congratulate Miss Amaya Green? Next up, we have Callie Jacobs. Can I please have Julio Johnson? Congratulations to Jair Johnson. Can I please have Amon McDowell? Amor McDowell, sorry. May I please have Joey Pacheco?
And if we can have Captain Green come join us up front so he can call the rest of the students that came in.
Can I have the rest of my swimmers up? I don't know all the kids' names because it's like it's like 50 kids, but all of them couldn't make it. So. Nyla Bostic. Ava Carter. Zion Gims. Zai Kennedy. I don't think we had him too. Zaya Williams. Hezekiah Battaglia. I'd just like to say thank you to all the parents that brought their kids out. I've been doing this for the last 5 years in the city of Riviera Beach. I am the city of Riviera Beach Ocean Beach captain, so I see a lot of drownings that goes on not only in our county but around the world. And our kids are living around a lot of ponds, lakes, and beaches, and they should know how to swim. And these kids know how to swim within a week in my swim program. So give it up for them. Give it up for them.
And Captain Green, if you can't stay there, we couldn't do these programs without support from community advocates here in the community. So I wanted to acknowledge the ones that came and supported Captain Green and made sure that they had the support, funding, and resources to be able to do this. I'm not sure if we have Officer Jacobs, Quentin Jacobs, if he's in the building. Okay. All three. So we did have some other supporters, and I want to acknowledge them. We have Reginald and Yolanda Shepard. They were individuals that supported the program. Rufus Mitchell supported this program, and Delicia Murray. So please give it up for those individuals. And last but not least, Madam Chair, for the amazing work that Captain Green has done for this city for over 20 plus years, I, on behalf of the Mayor's office, want to announce an official proclamation from the city of the office of the City of Riviera Beach, Office of the Mayor, dedicating August 6, 2025 as Eddie Green Day. Whereas Eddie Green, affectionately known as Eddie Green, is a proud native of Riviera Beach, whose dedication and service has profoundly impacted our community. Whereas Eddie Green has devoted 25 years of exemplary service to the city of Riviera Beach, demonstrating unwavering commitment to public safety and the well-being of residents and the visitors alike. Whereas in 2017, Eddie made history by becoming the first Black beach ocean rescue captain for the city of Riviera Beach, achieving scores that far exceeding the requirements for the position and setting a standard of excellence in lifeguarding and emergency response. Whereas Eddie Green has saved countless lives on the municipal beach on Singer Island and even extended his heroic efforts internationally, rescuing a drowned victim while on vacation in Jamaica. Whereas recognizing the importance of water safety, Eddie selflessly dedicates his swimmers to hosting swim lesson classes for children and adults throughout his program, Swimming Clean with Captain Green, empowering our community with life-saving skills. Whereas beyond his life-saving work, Eddie is celebrated professional comedian, host, and entertainer, and having performed for hundreds of thousands worldwide with comedy special Mr. Willie's Son, streaming on Amazon Prime, filmed right here in Riviera Beach, showcasing Riviera Beach's roots to a global audience. Whereas Eddie's talents extend to film appearances, event promotion, and professional hosting, enriching our cultural landscape and bringing joy to countless individuals. Whereas in 2018, Eddie hosted the first ever comedy show on the municipal beach on Singer Island in the beach sand with a live entertainment entitled Friendsgiving. Whereas Eddie Green embodies the spirit of Riviera Beach through his service, leadership, creativity, and dedication to uplifting others. Now, therefore, I, Douglas Lawson, Mayor of the City of Riviera Beach, do proclaim August 6th as Eddie Green Day in Riviera Beach. All right, guys. I want you guys all to squeeze in.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, young people, for that presentation. Mr. Green, thank you for your service to the city of Riviera Beach, and thank you, parents, for allowing your children and being with them to accomplish this task. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next item, which is the presentation of the city's audit for 2023-2024. Mr. Sherman?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Each year, once the fiscal year audit has been completed, we invite the audit partner to come in and make a presentation for the audit results. Mr. Roderick Harvey is here from HCT and will be making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Want to give a second for the presentation to be. There you go. Good day, Mayor, Chair, Pro Tem, Commissioner, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. Greetings from HCT. My name is Roderick Harvey, partner with HCT. HCT is the audit firm of record for the City of Riviera Beach. Over the next few minutes, we will be talking about the audit results for the year ended September 30, 2024. Based on our audit testing and compliance work, we have issued a clean audit opinion, which was dated June 27 of 2025. We will spend a few minutes talking about those audit results, supplemental slides, and of course the responsibilities. As you can see, we have performed all audit testing, have issued the appropriate auditor's reports. There are no outstanding matters, and all significant accounting policies and procedures are listed in Note 1 of the ACFR. Significant estimates was defined as fair market for investments, pensions, and allowance for doubtful accounts. Significant risk areas, management override and revenue recognition. There were a few accounting pronouncements that came into effect during this fiscal year, GASB 84, 88, and GASB 90. I think they all make for great late night reading if anybody is up and can't go to bed. Outstanding communications that are required for us to give to you as those charged with governance. Uncorrected misstatements, no matters to report. Corrected misstatements, no matters to report. And presentation disclosures, we have no matters to report to you. Control deficiencies, none, and there are no significant findings or issues as relates to related parties. This deck is very important because, again, as auditors for the city, we must report, give information if we were to find any of these items. As you can see, we have no matters to report as relates to illegal acts, non-compliance with laws, other findings, no significant deficiencies encountered during the audit, and we are deemed independent. Over the next few slides, we will delve into the numbers for the city, starting with revenues. Revenues for the year ended September 30, 2024, 180.2 as compared to 164.3 for the 23 year. We tested a sample of transactions in the revenue area and tested those revenue streams for existence, accuracy, and cutoff. As relates to expenses, looking at the numbers for 24, 164 million as compared to 156 million. Again, we tested those expenditure transactions for completeness, accuracy, and cutoff, and the presentation of those expenses reported. Capital assets, 312 million for the 24 year as compared to 282 million. The increase was mainly due to infrastructure. Total assets had an increase of about 19 million, going from 539 to 520, mainly due to capital assets. And then long-term debt, you can see that balance was confirmed with other parties. I think it is important, as we always do, to talk about any deficiencies noted. There are two types: significant deficiency, which is the lower level type of area that we may report on, and a material weakness, which is more significant. We are happy to report to you, based on our audit and the work of finance and the manager's office, that we have no matters to report for the 24 years. And also, as relates to prior year findings, those findings have been worked down to zero, and we have no matters to report for those years for prior findings. At this time, Madam Chair, if there are any questions, we will do our very, very best to entertain any questions. I will do my very best, hopefully with the help of finance, to answer any questions you may have of us.
Thank you, Ari, for that presentation. Are there any questions from the board in regards to this presentation regarding our latest audit?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
has staff provided this report to the city council yet?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
This report was provided for in your agenda packet, and this is the formal presentation of the report.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions in regards to this item? Thank you so much, Mr. Harvey, for your presentation. We appreciate your assistance with the City of Riviera Beach.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you. We'll go to our next item, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, our next item is item 60 under presentations. Councilwoman Priscilla Davis Panier's Emerging Leader Spotlight Series and Neighborhood Navigator Initiatives.
Madam Chair.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to ask my legislative aide, Ms. Chandra Stringer, if she would come to the front to do the presentation. And we are excited about these initiatives that we are about to implement, and we hope that everyone will get involved. So please pay attention and contact us if you need any additional information after the presentation. Good evening, Honorable Mayor in his absence. I think he stepped out for a minute to City Manager Evans, Attorney Wynn, and the council. Thank you for this opportunity. I can tell you already that I have one correction to make, and I'll let you know when that happens. What a difference a year makes is looks different sitting on this end of the seating, but we are ready to rock and roll. Let's see if I can manage this thing. What happened to the clicker? All right, so just hit the arrow. This is a new laptop to me. Okay, here. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay. Thank you. So here we are. Introduction and purpose. Tonight we are going to be highlighting initiatives that increase visibility, access, and participation from our residents with our leadership, as well as the staff. And that will look like youth recognition, youth and young adults, as well as neighborhood adults from different neighborhoods. And so it's highlighting initiatives that increase visibility, access, and participation. Both efforts align with the city's goal to strengthen community engagement. And I want to anchor our presentation tonight, and I'm watching my time. Councilman Guy. When residents are informed, involved, and inspired, communities thrive. When residents are informed, involved, and inspired, that's when our community thrives. So let's unpack tonight. Our goal is citywide commitment to community connection and engagement. I want to state a few national civic data. The Pew Research in 2024, that's very recent. Only 26% of Americans say that they trust local government most of the time. That's 26% too many. Urban Institute in 2023 said Gen Z makes up over 30% of urban communities, yet less than 10% feel heard at the city level. That's research data. National Civic League says neighborhood-based programs increase local trust and residents' satisfaction by over 40%. So, our anchor for tonight, the acronym RISE. We're going to recognize, inform, support, and engage. Recognize emerging leaders ages 16 through 25. 6 through 25. 6. Oh, I thought it was 16, so I was right. Okay, thank you. That's why she's in charge. All right, so 6 to 25, inform neighborhoods with timely, relevant updates, support meaningful residents' involvement, and engage youth and community voices statewide. Emerging Leaders Spotlight. I can breathe. I really thought I made a mistake. When you look at something so much, you do. All right, so for youth and young adults from ages 6 to 25, that will be our benchmark in which those individuals will be nominated to be highlighted and spotlighted as an emerging leader. Celebrates character, commitment, and community impact. And we have our own brand, but it's the brand for the team, and that's I'm Image. I am a great example. It will culminate with an annual Image Award celebration honoring all Spotlight youth and young adults. Emerging Leaders nomination process. You guys, it is live on the city's website. We do have a link where you can go to the city's website, click on District 5, and there is a link, there's an actual application there that you can start nominations as early as tomorrow, Councilwoman, as early as tomorrow. All right. Eligibility: must live in, attend in, or have a parent or guardian who resides in Riviera Beach. Categories will include leadership, kindness, creativity, resilience, responsibility, and determination. Form includes a headshot and a short narrative. Now, we do understand that some of our residents may or may not have access either to a computer or may not feel comfortable doing it. We will have office hours in which you can set up an appointment and come in and complete an application. Now, I can't help you because I don't want to be biased because I love all residents of Riviera Beach. Here we are, Neighborhood Navigator Program, this purpose.
identifies and engages civic-minded residents to serve as connection points within their neighborhoods, strengthens grassroots collaboration between residents and the city by lifting voices that are often overlooked. Remember that data. Build consistency communication with rooted in present, shared responsibility, and trusted leadership, bridging that gap. And the last one ensures community insight shapes decisions not as an afterthought, but really as an active part of the process. So we are launching the Neighborhood Navigator. This will take place. Mark your calendars. Get your phone out now. Mark your calendars. Monday, August 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We will be at the Revere Beach Marina Village, and you will hear more about the program. We will have sign up at that time. However, we intend on having refreshments. Please, please, please go to the website now and register so we'll be able to anticipate how many attendees will be there on that evening. You will be able to connect with Councilwoman Davis Penier and learn how to engage as a navigator. And then we will have the monthly, we'll give an overview of the program, which will include monthly meetings, resource sharing, and localized impact opportunities. Strategic involvement, okay, aligns youth engagement and neighborhood feedback efforts under one coordinated strategy, promote collaborative communication across civic and community lines, and ultimately promotes timely, transparent, and consistent messaging across all initiatives. Why does it matter? For the city, it encourages accountability, transparency, and visibility. For the residents, creates clear pathways to share, serve, and stay informed. And for the youth, provide validation, public recognition, and leadership momentum. Rise with us. We want to recognize, inform, support, and engage. That's the QR code. If you're present, you can give this tonight. And then if not, there is a link there. And there's a link and a QR code for the Neighborhood Navigator. Connect with us. And I want to say thank you. And if there are any questions, I'm here to answer them as best as I know how.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Ms. Davis?
Okay, so I just want to just add a couple of things. The emerging leaders, that will be ongoing, so you can submit nominations at any time. We'll have a committee that will make the selection for the monthly recognition. So make sure you're sending those in at any time. The neighborhood navigators, I'm requiring all Divine Nine organizations to have a representative at this meeting. We need to come together so that we can do some collaborative efforts in our community. We all do things separately. I'm asking for every person who wants to volunteer and get involved to please be to this meeting so that we can coordinate together how we want to move our city forward and how we want to connect and also just work together to make sure that our residents are getting the information on the resources that we're providing. We can't expect that every resident is going to come to a city council meeting or they're able to come to some of the events that we have. So guess what? We want to make sure we're going out to the community. So we need your help. We ask that you get involved. I'm excited. And I hope that you will be too. So I hope to see you all on August 25th. At 6 o'clock at the Marina. If you have any questions, you can contact my office before then. And again, I look forward to working with you. We are people-focused, community-centered, and passion and purpose-driven. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, thank you, Commissioner Davis. Madam Clerk, could I have the next item?
Madam, we are on item 6D that was added by Councilperson Guyton, severance packages.
Councilperson Guyton, would you like to proceed with your item?
Yes, I would.
Yes, go ahead.
Where is? There you go. Would you pass these down to them for me? And give the city manager and the city attorney one. Thank you, Madam Chair. I am passing out some information. First, before I start, I owe the city manager, my my colleagues and the residents a very deep, sincere apology for my delivery at the last meeting. It was not appropriate. It was unacceptable. And I just want the people to know that that's not going to happen again. I was very upset, but that is no excuse. And my behavior was unacceptable. But the issues that I was addressing, they still exist, and this is one of them. Severance packages came to my attention by happenstance. Someone had called me to complain about something else, and they mentioned that severance packages were being initiated. I've been in government a long time, over 30 years, so I'm saying I don't remember them ever coming to us. So fast forward, I passed out an agenda where there have been 5 severance packages signed and issued without coming to the city council. I know that's not normal. So I just wanted to get some clarification tonight. Having been in government over 30 years, and this process here is not one that I'm familiar with, because anytime you're committing public funds, it should be done in the sunshine. There have been deals that have been consummated essentially it appears that the city manager was making private deals with public funds. When I said private deals, it was done in private. It wasn't done in the sunshine up here. So I just wanted some clarification tonight to get a better understanding, because it may or may not be anything wrong with it, but I just want to make sure that, one, we, the city and residents, are not being exposed by something that is not coming to us and being done without our knowledge. Mr. Evans, I just have a couple of questions. What criteria are you using to determine who receives a severance package?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
The separations agreements are when we're looking to separate employment with a particular individual in the organization. So most of these separations is that there's a particular reason or circumstance why we don't think that this particular individual is a good fit for the organization. So it depends on the circumstance and conversations and consultations with human resources with regards to the item that is before us. That's how that particular situation is addressed. So it's a case-by-case scenario and specific to whatever the situation is.
So everyone being separated doesn't receive a severance package. That's kind of determined by you?
Madam Chair, if I may. Depending on most of these, and I think if you look at these separation agreements, most of these positions are at the managerial ranks. So it's pretty much relegated to only the managerial ranks that are provided for what is these separation agreements.
Another question, if I may. How did you determine the amount that would be settled on?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
The statute has a situation that if you don't have a employment agreement, statutorily the most you can provide is 6 weeks of compensation, and then we provide a situation whereby the individual receives their sick or vacation as it relates to the time that they've accrued with the organization.
I see we have varying amounts, and I know that vacation and sick can impact the amount. Is there an amount that you determine beyond, not beyond the 6 weeks, but within that 6 weeks that one may only get 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
Madam Chair, if I may. With respect to the separation agreement, it all depends on the rate of pay of the particular individual, and that's why the dollar amounts could fluctuate. So if someone is making $20 an hour versus someone making $35 an hour, if they have the same terms and conditions in their separation agreements, the numbers would vary.
Okay, I know that in our charter we have a clause for directors, high-level people. You need to have justifiable cause. That's in the charter. You're familiar with that section, aren't you?
Yes, Madam Chair, and also we reconcile that against also a situation where it is an at-will state. But also, I do want to, this is the department directors or the managers that are separated. This is a mutual, both parties consent when they do sign and execute that particular documentation.
Okay, so, but if they don't consent, they would be terminated?
Madam Chair, if I may? In some cases, it would result in termination.
So it's not really voluntary. They know that if they don't sign it, they'll be terminated.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
In some cases, yes.
Okay. So in those cases, justifiable cause is required. I was looking through all of the documents. I didn't see anywhere in it where you even addressed justifiable cause. And again, I don't want us to be exposed with your actions, and I want to make sure that the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, because ultimately we have to defend what you've been doing.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
So you see with the separation agreement, it's a general release that waives the individual's rights to file lawsuits against the city. Also, the separation, it doesn't show as an adverse impact to their employment, because when we do separate employment with these individuals, we would prefer, they would actually prefer that it's a separation versus a termination that they would have to note. And so that's why it is a mutual separation and it's a separation agreement. But by virtue of the agreements, they waive any legal actions that they can take against the organization.
Okay. I'm going to try this a different way. Justifiable cause is not addressed here. And if they didn't agree to it, they would be terminated. So, if someone were to challenge this on justifiable cause, even with your general release, I'm not an attorney, and we have an attorney sitting there, but we can potentially be exposed.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
I would have to defer that question to the attorney to provide a legal opinion with regards to that matter.
City Attorney? You want to opine?
Justifiable cause is a provision in our charter. It still exists, and so we have to abide by it.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So, Attorney
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Well, I'm just asking a question based on her response
Oh,
to your
okay.
question. So based on what you just said, if that person were to not, the person signs a waiver, correct? So if they sign a waiver, can they still come back and sue if there's not justifiable cause?
Again, the charter says that you need justifiable cause. I don't know if Mr. Evans had justifiable cause or not. I don't know necessarily the reasons for every termination that he entered into a severance agreement. Only he knows that.
Madam Chair?
Let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
but my question is the legal question. If they're waiving their rights to sue, is that one of the things that they're waiving their rights to do under with the justifiable cause clause?
It depends. Not necessarily. It depends on whether there was justifiable cause to terminate in the first place. If they, although they signed the waiver, you have to go through litigation. For instance, in the litigation, if it was found that there wasn't justifiable cause to begin with, then maybe the waiver is void. I mean, there's so many variables that I can't just give you a yes or no answer.
Madam Chair, one more quick question, please follow up with Attorney Wim. So if they were to say there was not justifiable cause and they signed this and took the money, would they have to give the money back?
I mean, would they get their job back? I mean, there's always a quid pro quo. So, again, I can't answer that question.
Okay, thank you.
And on that note, for the record, when Mr. Evans left, he signed a general release and got money and said that he would not return, and he returned. So there is some precedent of overriding a general release. But back to the attorney regarding Dr. Spiritus' question about if they sign a general release. I think a half-decent attorney would say that they did it under duress, because if I don't sign, I would be terminated. I have a family. I have responsibilities. So my point is, we are being exposed, and we had no knowledge about these agreements. And I would like for us, the dais, to be made known before he enter into any agreements that may expose us. Now, which I didn't want to bring public, I did speak to him privately about this, but it was never addressed, so I had to come public. Now, people who have been separated may think, what about me? So, Madam Chair, I would like to, I don't know if a motion is needed, but we need to get control of this because he distributed, Mr. Evans have distributed close to $100,000. I mean, agreed in packages, vacation and all of that included, but it didn't come before us. And these are public funds. And anything that's dealing with public funds, sunshine, it needs to be in the sunshine. I got ticked for asking to serve on a board. And I came here and I announced it. I said, I asked the council person to serve on the board. And somebody said, you can't do that because it wasn't in the sunshine. So, but the point was the business was not in the sunshine. They considered that business. So, but anyway, I would like for us to kind of gain control of this situation, at least give us a courtesy notice. I mean, we knew nothing. Zilch. Well, I did. I can't speak for everybody else. I knew absolutely nothing. And if it went south, we would have to defend it. So I would like to have, moving forward, that if there is a decision to want to consider a severance package, that it comes before us, or at least we be notified that it's being considered. That's all I'm saying.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
Second.
I'd like to say this. I haven't seen this information before. And looking at this, I don't think I have a problem with the severance agreement in general. But what I think I do have an issue with is the amount over the $25,000 authority for the city manager. So if that were an issue, for me, that's what it would be, because some of these I see are over the 20, well, actually one of them is over the $25,000 threshold, which is, not by much, by $244. But even with that being said, I think that anything that goes above the manager's $25,000 authority, that we definitely need to know what's happening with it, because it's supposed to come to us in regards to the council giving its okay to proceed with it. So that, I don't have a problem with the service agreements. I have a problem with any of these agreements going over the $25,000 threshold. That's my issue with that.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So, Mr. Evans, do any of these people in the managerial positions have agreements, written agreements with the city?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
These individuals do not have any contractual agreements with the city. Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
One of the things I do want to make it known for the record is in most directorship positions, there are employment agreements that are provided for those top-level executives. And if I can have Director DeCoste come up to the podium as well, in the offer letter that is provided for some of those top-level executives, there are provisions in their agreements that if there is a situation where both parties fall out of favor with one another, that there is a separation that provides for compensation. All your department directors that are in the organization up to the assistant city manager do not have any contractual protections. And in fact, that is some of the challenges that we have when we try to recruit department directors. But I do want to ask Director DeCoste to opine on the particular situation because it is something that we've had a lot of conversations. And the separation agreements that were provided were drafted by a labor and employment attorney that has, clients in multiple, is an attorney for multiple municipalities, and this is not a foreign concept. Director DeCoste, if you care to provide some additional commentary.
Before she starts, because I don't want to.
Go ahead, sir.
Because I don't want to waste a lot of time. That is not my issue. My issue is we not being informed. That's my issue, and we would have to defend this. That is my issue. Whatever the agreement says, it says. But out of common courtesy, the manager should at least advise us of when he's committing public funds like this. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to make this a long drawn out by what's in this agreement or what's in that. I am saying that we should be informed. That's all I'm saying, period.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, you did put on the record that you agree that you're concerned with over this manager's spending authority. Councilman Guyton, you want all severances, though, regardless of the spending authority brought to the board. Is that your motion?
At least advise us that you're committing public funds. Public funds, not private funds. Taxpayer funds.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Hold on, Madam Chair, if I could finish.
Let the mayor finish. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And I guess the concern, I just want to make sure that we're clear that the request from my colleague is to have it advised to the board of public funds being committed in severance packages to employees. I don't see an issue with over-advising the council. I personally have no problem with clear communication, transparent communication, and dialogue amongst the board. So I have no problem with it just being an issue. Are we looking to actually have the board vote on these items when they come to the table, or is this just going to be for informational purposes?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I have no problem providing those to the board if there's, any future separation agreements. But one of the things I think that the board should be aware of, that I think for the department directors and the nature of their positions, they should receive employment letters that provide for, if there is a separation in employment, that they are entitled to, 6 weeks of severance or some type of compensation, because to find to find employment after you transition at a high-level executive position at a department director is a tough transition. And so that is one of the things that I think moving forward, we have to look to provide that for our executive staff. But I have no problem providing documentation to the board.
Very good. Commissioner
Madam
Davis?
Chair, thank you. That was going to be my request. In the spirit of transparency, is it an issue? If it's not,
It's not. So what do we have? We have a motion on the table. What is that motion? Mr. Guy, you want to repeat that, please?
Could you repeat it?
Madam Chair, the motion is for the city manager to advise the city council board of severance package agreements to employees.
And we have a second on that
Yes.
item. Are there any other discussions about this item?
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
So once he advises us, is there any action the board is looking to take?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
That would be determined by the board. One thing that I've noticed that the roles kind of get reversed, and I don't mean this in a sarcastic way, but Mr. Evans worked for us. We don't work for him. So if we decide that, hey, no, this agreement is not to our liking, it may be too much, it may be too little, that's our choice. He works for us. He brings us recommendations. And I think that sometimes the roles get twisted, but I want to make sure that everybody understand their role, everybody stay in their lane. We're the policymakers, he works for us, and we make the decisions. So to answer your question, if we decide we want to change it, yes, we have that authority to do so.
So does that mean that all severance agreements will come to the board regardless? Is that what you're saying?
They should.
That's the motion, right? Okay.
No, that was not the motion. The motion was for him to advise us.
To advise.
Oh, to advise, okay.
All right, hey, look, Madam Chair, I'd like to rescind my motion. I'd like
Okay.
to make a motion that all severance packages come to the city council for approval.
Do you still want to keep your second?
second?
Okay. Any
Madam
other
Chair?
yes, go ahead.
Okay, so now, in most of the municipalities that I've worked in the past, they have a written policy on what the severance is going to be for the exempt employees that are not covered under the, union contract. I think we should consider doing the same thing. I think that's what the city manager was leading to. It would be an even playing field for all the exempt employees, and it would not be this one gets this and this one gets that. We would have a standard for all the employees based upon their salaries and their vacation time, sick time, and whatever. And we would include, of course, having to give releases, back and forth. But I think having that in writing takes a lot of the authority away from the city manager and the city council. When people come to work here, they know exactly what is going to happen if things don't work out.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
That's exactly what that we talked about, is the employment letters that every department director or every assistant director in that or manager, their specific criteria that they would be entitled to if there is a mutual separation. But I do want to communicate that it's a mutual separation between both parties. And one of the things I would caution the board is, if we have to bring separation agreements before the board, realize that it is contemplating the conclusion of someone's employment, and that is a very emotional, very contentious, and then it lends itself to, Mr. Evans, why is this person before us? And if you can see in the separation agreements, we agree not to impugn the character and reputation of those individuals. We don't speak of what the issues that were present as to why we're separating. And I just want us to caution about, a situation where we don't want somebody to have to point to a public meeting where they're being separated in a public forum. That's not common in any other municipality that I'm aware of. Those separation agreements are something that is, the manager has the authority over personnel in consultation with HR and that there's a separation that's provided. If the board wants to be informed of that, we can certainly inform the board of that. And if the board says, no matter what it is, not over $25,000, we can concede that particular point just to make things copacetic, but we have no problem informing the board. And again, these are only, in 6 years, these are the only separation agreements I believe that we do have. But there has been separations where we had employees that we would say, okay, you've got 30 days of vacation time. Your separation date is 30 days from, we keep you on the books, and then you get paid out what you're entitled to. So we've done it in a different form or fashion. But to Director DeCosti's foresight is we said, hey, we need to codify this in some type of language that protects the city from any particular exposure. And I would say that with those agreements, I don't think anyone could come back against the city because they do recognize that it's a separation agreement and both parties concede. And we understand even the Older Americans Act, they have adequate time to take it before they sign those agreements. So I think in some cases it's at least a week that they get to consult with their own attorneys as well.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
this is an example of what I'm talking about.
So hold on, Mr. Guyton. We cannot have people in the audience. This is a very small room. And we can hear very clearly you in the audience hemming and hawing about this conversation. We cannot tolerate that in this building at all. Thank you.
Okay. Typically in government, you don't decide unilaterally that this person is going to get 6 weeks. This one may get 2, and this. If everybody were entitled to the same, with exception for benefits that they're entitled to, the amounts would be more closer. Mr. Evans is using his discretion now to determine, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that, you're not going to get this, nobody, you get nothing over here. I'm saying that we run the city, not Mr. Evans. That's all I'm saying. And he's had this authority for years, so I know it's kind of strange for him to see that it may be taken away, but we run the city. We determine he brings us recommendations. I'm recommending this to you all for approval, and I suggest you approve it. But the 5 people who are going to be responsible, if it backfires, it's going to be us. So all I'm saying is leave the power with us. He can make recommendations. And what he's saying, he want to be the final say-so. If I say this is what I want y'all to approve. And I'm saying absolutely not.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I know some years ago there were some employees that separated, and as Mr. Evans mentioned, there's been times where people will just stay on the books and then they leave after, they're terminated or they're no longer employed by the city after those 30, 60, some people almost 4 or 5 months getting paid and not being here at work because they pretty much just rode out in the sunset on those days. That didn't come to us. I don't recall that coming to us, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Guyton. Did those type of things come to us back then?
I'm not sure in particular what you're talking about, but I speak in general. In those cases, there's normally an investigation ongoing, and they're being paid. This is not an agreement to separate and then you go sit home for 4 months.
No, I wasn't talking about anybody being investigated.
No, but I'm saying when there were
were.
4 months or 3 months when people were getting paid, it wasn't an agreement to separate. It was an investigation to determine if you're going to separate. So no, that never happened where they'll just be awarded 3 months and you go sit home. No, that never happens.
Okay, maybe when you weren't there, but I just want to make sure, I want to make sure that we do have some restrictions in terms of getting involved in the day-to-day operations. So that part still exists. I think what Dr. Spear has mentioned about us putting something in place so that it's across the board for all of the department heads, that would take all of that out. That'll take it out for us, that'll take it out for Mr. Evans. So I think for going forward, that's something we need to look into doing so that we have that existing already and we don't have to have these back and forth conversations about when people are being asked to voluntarily leave. So I would like to see that on the next agenda, whatever it is that's required and for us to have something of that nature.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go
Who
ahead.
initiates that letter?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
That is a letter that's provided for as part of your employment. So as part of your employment with the organization, you would be issued what is a offer letter that would prescribe what benefits. And so if we were to codify it in policy, then what would happen is I would issue employment letters to all the department directors and the individuals that are eligible for said benefits, and that would be basically the contract terms that will bind the organization, that in the event there is a separation, that they're entitled to those particular benefits that are provided for. And we are one of the few employers that don't have any type of contractual protections for members of management in that particular, and we can provide that documentation. So it's not much for us to put together something for this board to consider at the next regular meeting of the City Council.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
my recommendation, if you're going to do that and move toward offer letters, would be to enter into employment agreements.
Yes, I agree.
And Madam Chair, that is something that we got away from years ago. I was on the dais when every department head had a contract. That is not a good move. But notwithstanding, that's a different subject from what we're talking about now, about making sure that things come to us. We run the city. We have this interference clause. We still run the city. We make these decisions. And heretofore, it's been the city manager kind of telling us what we're going to do. And I'm saying, no, we run it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, listen, I understand what you're saying, Councilman Guyton. So what happens, it's like we have the cart before the horse here. So if we're saying that we're going to codify this in a employment agreement with executive staff, then we won't need a severance agreement at the end. Is that correct?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I may, if you provide it in the offer, if it's part of the offer, the employment letter, that is binding. And so that in essence serves as what is your contract. So in the event that there's a separation, you would, adhere to what is provided for in the letter. Now, you can draft it as a contractual document on the front end. You can certainly do that. I've seen it done both ways. Some cities put it all in the offer letter. Some cities have the offer letter with the attachment that's an employment contract.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know, I wasn't here, the history that Mr. Guyton is talking about regarding offer letter employment contracts and why that didn't work in the past. However, if you are moving, and I understand there are two issues here. One is whether or not you're being advised of severance packages being given and what you all want to do about that. The other issue is, as Mr. Evans would term it, an offer letter. There are so many other provisions that I would like to see in an employment contract if you're going that route versus a simple 1 or 2 page letter where there could be so much confusion down the road as to what was meant. And I think that, and I don't want to speak for you, Mr. Cassidy, but I did see you nodding that she would agree with me from an HR perspective.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So just to give you some history, the cities I worked at, I was on the actual unemployment agreement, and everything was broken down from the severance agreement, my salary, if it's for justable cause, not for cause. I wouldn't sue if they terminated me. So that's the normal practice throughout other cities. So an employment agreement from assistant director or whatever the board sees fit and city manager, what level will go to. My recommendation is if the board and city manager Evans is okay with it, is I work with legal, draft something, do a policy and do an employment agreement, and then present it to the board to see which way you guys would like to go.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
And could you also just take a look at a few other agencies and see what they do for that level? Because I know there are a few, there aren't any protections such as that. So,
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct, you're
everyone
right.
doesn't do
yeah,
that.
everybody
correct.
don't
I know
do
that for a fact.
Or me too.
Yeah. So don't make it
yeah.
seem like everyone does that.
Right,
No,
right, right.
Everyone
I'm sorry,
doesn't.
Madam Chair. No, everybody doesn't. I just know the municipalities I work for, they did. And Mr. Evans almost didn't get me here because I was like, there's no employment agreement? What do you mean? There's no protection?
Right.
Because I don't, God forbid, you know, transitioning is hard for any department head at that level.
Right. Yeah, so if we could get a few.
Madam
Okay.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So then, basically, I just want to get to what we're really doing. So we're going to come back at the next council meeting with terms and conditions, a policy, terms and conditions for employment for department heads, which would spell out, well, a lot of things, but severance would be part of it. Is that what you're coming back to us with?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes.
That's what we would look to, what would be a policy that would prescribe what the conditions would be for, and then what a draft offer letter or letter would be for executive management, and then the research as to what municipalities do have some type of contractual protection or some type of provision with regards to department heads. In some cases, some organizations just do, if there's separation, and that's the only thing that's provided for in the relationship, and they're entitled to all the other benefits that are normally afforded to the general employee. So we'll do some research and bring it back to the board.
Right, Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Right, the city manager just brought up a very important point. And most of the municipalities that I've worked in the past, the exempt employees or the department heads did receive everything that the other employees were getting contractually. And then we did have a separate policy and procedure for the department heads. And we specifically, if we wanted to change, whether it was vacation time or sick time or a different procedure for severance, we would identify that in that policy. So that's something that we're going to have to consider, and certainly we'll take the recommendation of the staff on that.
So where we are now, so we do have a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
Hold on a second. We have a motion on the floor to vote on the severance agreement packages coming back to the council, regardless of the amount. Am I correct, Mr. Guyton?
Yes.
All right, there's a second on that motion. Am I correct? Yes, go ahead.
Well, okay, so Madam Chair.
Yes.
Hearing the recommendation of council, HR, and considering the option of, doing the agreement, I would like to withdraw my second.
Would you like to keep your motion, Mr. Guyton?
I do, but I see where it's going, and this is the way it's been going for years. I'm telling you, we need to take control of the situation, and we're not doing that. But whatever my colleagues, I love my colleagues. I'm not going to beef with my colleagues. I'm just saying this is a huge mistake that we are doing. We need something in place, and we can still deal with those other issues. That's not preventing us from going back and addressing those issues.
Are you going to keep your motion, sir?
I said I would keep it.
Okay, is there a second on his motion? Hearing none, the motion dies for lack of a second.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Just a comment on that. Thank you, Councilman Guyton, for bringing this item. It did allow for discussion with the board. We do have to operate in the sunshine. So with this, it's allowed for policy to be implemented for clear direction, protection for the directors, and support for them. I don't see the motion as anything that would have been a hindrance. It's just transparency. And that's going to be our goal, and that's the role with the city, is clear transparency. And even staff was okay. Mr. Evans did address that. So it wouldn't be an issue against it, in my opinion. But what the resolution that hopefully will come back before the board will just give us some transparent dialogue and protection for our directors and just understanding as a board. So thank you, Councilman Guyton, for bringing this item.
Yes, thank you too. And I also agree with the fact that the city manager and those executive staff, which is 2 employees the city council has, the city attorney and the city manager. And yes, they do work for the council. We're going to go now into public comment. Public comment shall begin at 7:30 p.m. unless there is no further business of the city council, which in that event it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30, then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded, the city council board has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings, which has been posted at the front desk. Where's my big thing that has the, I guess I don't have it in here. But please be governed. Please understand that we will not have anyone attacking any member of this dais, staff, or in the public. This is a meeting that is supposed to, you can air your grievances, you can be able to say whatever you like to say, but you cannot attack people either sitting here or in this audience in regards to any item, because that is very disrespectful. Please be reminded, in an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the city council chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly. Madam Chair, how many public comment cards do we have?
Madam Chair, we have 10 public comment cards.
Let's get started.
The first speakers are Joseph Bedford Sr., Dr. Philip Dukes, followed by Fane Losman.
Greetings, City Council, Mayor, city employees, and residents. My name is Joseph Bedford Sr. Tonight I'm coming before you talking about standards, high standards, standards that the city of River Beach deserves. Tonight it's funny that we talked about agreements. Tonight I want to talk about May 1st of every year and June 1st of every year. And if anyone in council does not know what those dates are for the city manager, May 1st, to start self-evaluation. And June 1st is when the city council is to review that evaluation. So when I say standards, high standards should come from the top. And I can imagine most employees, or every employee other than those that are union, have to go under evaluation, which is a great opportunity to have conversation about goals, about strengths, and about weakness, have a great dialogue. And we've seemed to miss that dialogue for 2 years in a row. I went back to see when the last review was done, and it wasn't done. Well, the last one was done in 2023. Also, within this section of the city manager's agreement under section 2, which I sent out an email earlier on just for review so you can have contents, without, even though it's mandated in here to have a review every year, there's no consequences for the city manager not to have the review done. Not only that, in this session, it also seems that if the employees get a raise, he would be able to get that raise as well without the review. So what I'm asking is whether the diocese decides to renew this contract with Mr. Evans or decides to go in a different direction, that this section of the agreement be adjusted and get some teeth behind it to have some kind of consequences if the review is not done, because I'm quite sure every employee of the city of Rivera Beach has to have their review, and that should come from top as well. Leadership should set a standard for the city employees as their leader for high standards. So I'm just asking you that you put that in mind whenever this subject comes before the board. Thank you.
Sir.
The acceptance of public comment cards is now closed. Next is Philip Dukes, Fane Losman, and Cindy March.
Dr. Philip Dukes, CEO of Operation Restore, City Council, Mayor, City Manager, You know, I just want to commend you guys for really pressing to do the best job you can. You're not going to please everybody, but you got a lot of things that you have to change, that you're trying to put in order that was passed down to you in behavior and in action. And that same thing comes through what I want to talk about when I come over here every first and third about Black history. Now, I ask you guys a question to tell me, last time I was up here, who are the most important two Black people in the Bible? Why are you talking about the Bible, Pastor Dukes? Well, 85% of us believe something about Jesus, Christian faith, in the city of Revere Beach. 85%. We just prayed before this council meeting started. So we believe something about him. So when we look at the Bible, I want you to approach the Bible from a history book. I have a master's degree and an earned PhD from the Evangelical Bible Seminary. But archaeology and anthropology is what we need to deal with if we're going to deal with this rising climate of what we call bigotry and racism in our country. And no one can deny what is going on under this present president. No one can deny that. We're somewhere between George Washington and Harry S. Truman. That's where we are, going backwards. And these things are going backwards because of what we call bigotry and racism. Because we don't teach we're one human race. So the Torah, which is my expertise, tells us something. In 1987, mitochondrial DNA came out to tell us stuff that broke the back of all bigotry and racism. Well, how do you know it's true? Well, you watch Maury Povich, don't you? You watch Jerry Springer. I know you do. I know you say, but you watch it. And she say, who the baby is? That's your baby. And then the test come out, oh, I thought he was the daddy. Well, that same DNA put you in prison. The same DNA get you out of prison. That same DNA says every human being on the planet came from Black people. And we're all one human race. My phone number is 561-827-7499. My email is drphillip@gmail.com. You can contact me. Let's start pulling together to start teaching against all forms of bigotry, because it's not going to get better. Don't fool yourself into thinking things are going to get better under this current administration. It's going to go away. No, it's not. So we have to get in place. We just came through one of the most horrible things in our society with the crack epidemic, and we act like that did not exist. Now we're on another tip. So it behooves us to look at things and start teaching truth that we're one human family.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Thane Lozman, followed by Cindy March, and then Lynn Hubbard.
We will, yeah, just give us a second. We'll give it to them.
Thane Lozman, Singer Island. Mr. Guyton has a good point. The city council controls the city, not vice versa. In 1969, the city council passed Ordinance 805 on 2 readings and was signed by the mayor. It's called the bulkhead line map. In the bulkhead line map, it shows all the property boundaries for the submerged lands in Singer Island, and it shows the section corner from 1915 where they were set. I have a copy, and the clerk can distribute it later on to all of you. What does that mean? That has not been changed since 1969. If you wanted to change it, it had to come back to this council, and they had to vote 2 readings to change the boundary. They did not do that. What happened was your authority was usurped by your staff. City manager, city attorney, the police chief, and one member on the council there, Mr. Spiritus. They are no longer enforcing the boundaries on our private property. They're allowing people to trespass on our private property because the city in 2022 paid $75,000 to a survey firm, never came to the council. You weren't on the council at the time, Mr. Guyton, but never came to the council. $75,000 was spent to have a survey done by a private survey company, and he came up with this cockamamie story that the section corner in the year 1915 was 65 feet in the wrong place. And the city used that in a federal court, but it never got to the trial where that would have been relevant. But right now they're using that survey from 2022 as where all the boundaries in Singer Island are. No judge has done it, this TIF hasn't done it, and this council hasn't done it. But the city manager and city attorney sent out an email or city attorney did to the police chief and said, do not enforce those boundaries. Let people wander through our property to the beach. We have a dog park on our beach now. We have people having parties on our beach. We have people wandering around there all day long, and the police chief told his men that he is not going to enforce trespass at 4601 North Ocean Drive, based on a survey that was done without this board's consent. It has never been ratified by a court or anything, and it won't be because of latches, because something that's been in place for 110 years is not going to be undone. The TIF doesn't want it undone. The county doesn't want it undone, but 4 of your employees want it undone. Not 4, 3 employees and 1 of your elected officials. So, I mean, that is a major problem. The Fifth Amendment not only is the right to double jeopardy and incriminate yourself, you cannot take private property without paying for it. You can't, when you raise your right hand and uphold the Constitution, you can't say, well, I'm not going to support filling in the submerged lands. If you don't support filling in the submerged lands, you're really violating the Fifth Amendment because you have to pay for them. And the only person that said to pay for them was Cedric Thomas. We have 71 acres that is teed up in federal court right now. The value of that property is over $500 million. In federal court, it's going to be too late. If you don't change the comp plan and change the zoning, this city could get lit up by Beretta, by myself, and by Halo Development.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, we received a request from Ms. Hubbard to speak before Ms. March, if it is your pleasure.
That's fine.
Okay, so Lynn Hubbard, Cindy March, and then Margaret Shepherd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lynn Hubbard. Okay. We, the residents of Riviera Beach, Monroe Heights area, we're calling on our elected officials to stand with us, not against us, as we fight to protect our homes, our lands, and our future. We would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the fact that the mayor has come out to the site as well as sat in on a meeting with staff. While we appreciate this, our hope is that it translates into a positive result for us. This is not just about zoning or easements, it's about trust. It's about the reasonable expectation that those we elect will protect the interests of the communities they were chosen to serve. And right now, that trust is being tested, perhaps broken. Let me be clear, we understood the original request regarding the 5-foot utility easement at the rear of our properties. We agreed that this land, though part of our lots, would remain outside our fenced areas to serve the city's public utility needs. This was a fair and transparent exchange. But what followed was anything but transparent. A developer, having purchased a piece of land that was widely known to be unfit for building, was somehow able to persuade officials to relinquish a community canal, a canal that has long served a critical flood mitigation for our neighborhood, so it could be used for private development. Not only was this vital infrastructure handed over, but the developer was also allowed to use substandard materials instead of concrete to direct water flow. These materials will rust, they will fail, and when they do, our neighborhood will flood again. Not if, but when. But even that was not enough. The developer still lacked land to proceed with their plans, and instead of saying no, it was approved for the replatting of our lots and redefine the easement space on our private properties as public access, which was then given to the developer for construction. Now let that sink in. Private homeowners are being stripped of their property under the guise of a public utility easement, only to have the land handed over to private development. That's not just unethical, it is unlawful. The canal is gone. The public access land has been gifted. The substandard infrastructure is now in place, and still the developer wants more. They want to build within 5 feet of our fences, jeopardizing our safety, our privacy, and our quality of life. Just think about that. Not anyone here would want that. We're not anti-development. We're not asking the city to stop progress. We are simply asking our leaders to prioritize the people who already live here.
Thank you so much.
Cindy March, Margaret Shepherd, and Dolores Williams.
Good evening, Council. To remember the promises made to the voters to uphold the public trust, we are asking you, our elected representative, to do one simple thing: say no. Say no to the further encroachment on our land. Say no to the substandard infrastructure that would flood our homes. Say no to developers who bend the rules for profits at the community's expenses. And most importantly, say yes to the resident who place their faith in you. Silence is not a neutral act. It is a choice. And in this moment, it is a choice to stand with developers rather than with the families who built this community. We're not giving up. We're not going nowhere. We are still asking, pleading, that you step in and stop this injustice. And we're asking the broader public, if it can happen to Monroe Heights, what mean that it's going to stop happening to you? The fight for Monroe Heights is the fight for every community that believes in fairness, transparency, and accountability. Stand with us, and that's all we're asking you to do. We asking with a kind heart. We asking if you all will come out, whether it's your district or not, to come and take a look at and see what is going on with building that wall behind the residents. We just asking that, and we greatly appreciate it. And another thing I want to get on is about when you put a motion on the floor and someone second the motion, I feel like it's a disservice when you call other individuals up here when it's already been a motion on the floor, and then that other person, you have the right to do what you want to do as council people, but just like I will reiterate what he said, you all work for us. He worked for us. We got to come together in agreement, not wait until we have a public meeting to bring situations like this in front of the public. Because by right, it was told I would never seek employment with the city of Revere Beach no more, and was paid $190,000, and none of that money was paid back to the taxpayers. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's be fair to one another, because one thing about it, that ballot box is not going nowhere. And I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying let's start considering doing things behind closed doors. That way you don't have this friction, calling other people up that have a higher position, that have authority to make decisions. And it might not be the right decisions for all the employees. It's not fair. I do want to yield back.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Margaret Shepherd, followed by Dolores Williams, and then Ken Burgess.
Margaret Shepherd, Revere Beach. You know, I'm listening to all of this tonight, and my heart is still heavy from a man that I love so much, the drum major, the man that I had the opportunity to go to when I needed to understand certain things, and a man that I counsel with, and that's the Reverend Griffin Davis. I do want to thank the city of Revere Beach. They didn't have to do it. Mr. Evans did not have to do it, but I could not go on my own because of the illness that I carried. But he said, I'm going to make a way. And I thank Ms. Deirdre Jacobs for reaching out, Donna for reaching out. And I know Chief Coleman had to sign off on it. And I know Major Gordon had to sign off on it. I'm grateful that everybody in my life came together so I could pay homage to the best man that I know. It was a homegoing celebration I will never forget. And this city, I tell you, the police officers that lined the city to make sure those cars got, I think it was 37 cars. But God sent me a beautiful angel. She's only maybe 5'2", maybe weigh 125 pounds. And that's Officer Phillips. I am so grateful to that lady. She stayed with me. You taught her well. You taught her well. I don't know who her parents are. I have no idea. But that girl stayed on course, and where I was at, she came and checked on me because at that time I was having these breathing problems. And I think Mrs. Spiritus, you know, if you live right, I'm telling you, God will make a way. There go Mrs. Spiritus and the other end, Leroy Kelson. And before I got out the car, there was Chief Golden sitting right there. So I texted my daughter and I said, all is well, because she doesn't really like anybody, but she likes Chief Golden.
And she said, "Oh, you're okay now." She was good. And another thing, I didn't think she knew Miss Phillips, Officer Phillips. She said, "Oh, you're good now." She's a chatterbox. You'll be great. So I want to thank you. And you all talked about Lydia Franks and our clerk. Let me tell you, stop worrying about these ladies. These are self-made black women. These women, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you try to do. Have you asked? They just keep on going. They let you get all frustrated. But Miss Franks had Summer at 4 years old. And you couldn't cheer. I think you had to be 5. She told Lydia, she said, "Well, Miss Franks, I don't know." She said, "But I can cheer." She said, "But Summer, you're only 4. She said, that doesn't matter. I can cheer." And she pat Summer on the head. She said, "Girl, you in it." Thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Dolores Williams, followed by Ken Burgess, and then Jesse Gray.
Good evening to the council, to the mayor. I'd like to give special thanks to Mayor Lawson. He put on an awesome book drive last Saturday for the people of Riviera Beach. And I'd like to thank him. He did an awesome job. Very, very, very good. And I'd just like to make an announcement from the Project Homeless from the Salvation Army. I got a lot of flyers. Anybody want to get it? You see me give them, just pass them out. They're going to do this on the 14th at the Salvation Army in West Palm Beach. And I'd just like to thank everybody. I know sometimes I get up here and I look at some of the people and I watch the council up there for the attitude toward different people. They pick out different sounds and different things so to make to me, a scene. But I'm here to let you know that we must do that which is right, because I'm telling you, there's a book within a book. Everything we say, everything you thinking about me now, what you don't care about me, it's being written down and we're going to be judged from it. So let us do the right thing. You don't have to say what the council say, a good thing. Do the good thing. God is good. And we must do everything that we can to make the city grow. And if you treat me like you treat yourself, then you treat me better. So we want to do those things that make for our city. And at Monroe Heights, there was a project when that developer came here. We was at the old city hall. And he came and presented himself to the council and said he wanted to do that strip mall. So I asked him first, why don't y'all renovate the one we have first? Why don't you donate some money to fix the streets at Monroe Heights? And why you want to build that? You know what he made, and he said to the council, he said, well, I want to do that. So if I build this strip mall, y'all gonna have to keep coming to Palm Beach Garden. Let us go back and get the tape in here with that same developer that's doing that, just blocking those houses and all the stuff they spending thousands of dollars to build that over. Is that the way we feel like? Mr. Duke trying to tell you about we as a people, as we as a Uskin, you know what we say, Uskin? We got to do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't have your picks and choices when you get up here. Don't have your pick and choices you want to make somebody look bad or feel bad. I'll watch y'all like y'all watch me. I look at your attitude too. But let us do the right thing.
The next speaker is Ken Burgess, followed by Jesse Gray. And I have a card with 2 names, Cheryl and Unique Melvin.
Good evening. Been a long time since I've been here. All the council, Councilman Spiritish, Chair Lanier, Co-Chair Miller Anderson, Councilman Guyton, Mayor Lawson. Also, Councilwoman Ms. Davis. Okay. Reason why I'm here today is because it's come across my attention that a good friend of mine, as you know, Ms. Lynn Hubbard, has possibly been given some information that might
if the information is checked, it might not be legitimate. The replatting of the land so that these guys can do the development is in question. If the replatting is correct and it is the way it's supposed to be, I personally have went out there and I've seen exactly how much 5 foot from the lot line is. And when I tell you 5 foot is approximately from there to right here. You're right here. So you're talking about putting a wall right here, this close to these people's backyard. I would have to go and revisit that. So if the documentation is right, the 5 foot easement is not big enough, period. In addition, I would ask that the developer give the homeowners some leniency. Do the same thing for the Monroe Heights residents as you did for the Long Pine residents. That development project was done, signed, sealed, and should have been taken off, but it never happened. So I've been around here long enough to know that concrete can be stopped, things can be relooked at. I'm here to ask you on behalf of my friend, look at the replatting of the document that she has. Make sure, one, if the easement was the property of the residents, how did it all of a sudden become the property of the city? If it never was owned by the residents, let's clear that up. You ain't never owned it. It wasn't yours from the beginning. So it's yours to do whatever you want to do with it. Get it right.
Thank you, sir.
Jesse Gray, Cheryl and Unique Melvin, and Alicia Parrish.
Good evening, Jesse Gary, City of Riviera Beach, 1417 West 23rd Street. I'm here, the council, mayor, manager. I'm here to appeal to you guys to just ask the developers to just give us more than 5 feet. We need more than 5 feet. You're sitting a fence on our fence, and it's not fair. I'm just here to appeal for that. I ask you to appeal to them to give us more than 5 feet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl and Unique Melvin, followed by Alicia Parrish.
Hey, peace to everybody. So we stand up here today for the event that we did Saturday, August 2nd, the Back to School event, geared towards mental health and suicide prevention. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the mayor for the partnership, my wife for doing all the work. I'd like to thank Riviera Beach Police for being in attendance, Kashamba Miller Anderson for also being in attendance. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers that came out Friday to pack the bags the week before. Actually, it was the Sunday, to pack the bags the week before. We really came together as a community, and this is what we have to continue to do so. I was really happy to see Riviera Beach, Major Gordon out there. You know, that really means a lot when the city comes together and make things happen for the community. So I stand heavy on mental health and suicide because I lost a son, and this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. So get used to it. And I hope
that we can continue to work together, bring the city together, and make things happen in this community.
Just want to, again, just thank everybody for coming out. It meant a lot. Ms. Miller-Anderson, for you to come out and support the foundation. You know, we are hoping that in the future that definitely we'll have more of the council come out to help us. Mayor Lawson, Mr. Evans, Ms. Franks that always keeps me on track. So we want to say thank you. We have serviced over 3,000 children and their families. Like, we gave book bags, mental health awareness materials, suicide prevention, first aid, CPR, you name it, we had it. You know, we thank the sponsors that helped us, because without the city of Riviera Beach, you guys backing us, Sobel, Forest Development, Home Depot, you name it, they were out there. We've had over almost 100 volunteers, and it's getting bigger and bigger each and every year. So every time we come before you, we just ask that you stand behind us. Understand that it might not happen today and it might not happen tomorrow, but one day you might find yourself in our situation. One day you might be the one that's dealing with mental health or suicide. And if you don't know how to get help, you want to make sure that you reach out to organizations like Sincere 2000 that make sure we give back to the community. Thank you.
Madam Chair, the last speaker is Alicia Parrish.
Keep you guys. First of all, I wanted to say that was awesome, and thank you for all what you do, especially you, Mayor. That was really awesome. So I'm here tonight because my 82-year-old mother sent me back in sometime last year, and then in March and May, you guys voted on a contract to provide the city manager with $65,000. And so my mother wants to know what's happening with that. There were 5 people, including the city manager, that were to be spoken to, be able to tell their part of the story as far as the prior mayor's report and summary, and that hasn't happened. What was so poignant in what I've heard was you guys have talked about transparency, the will of what you directed to be done. And this is an example of I'm very upset because my mother should know what's going on. She feels her daughter should have the opportunity to tell her side of the story, just like anyone else. So I'm here on not only behalf of my mother, but me too. So guys, I just want to know, where does that stand? What is going on? When should they expect to hear from council? And tell their side of their story as well. I thank you so very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, do you want to address? Oh, he is not there. We'll go into the next. Okay. Mr. Evans, could you address any of the comments that were made during the public comment, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Really quickly, I was looking for Director Sermons to come and speak. Oh, perfect. Look at that, like American Express. So, Director Sermons, if you can come and speak with respect to the item with regards to Monroe Heights and the community. We did receive a correspondence from Ms. Hubbard, and I asked for the team to get together and go out to the site that include Director Sermons, the city engineer, as well as some other our public works director to visit the site to look at the concerns that were articulated. So Director Sermons can bring the board up to speed with regards to that particular issue.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Manager. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of council. My name is Clarence Sermons, Director of Development Services for the City of Riviera Beach. As the manager stated, it was brought to directed to staff to take a look into multiple complaints that were made by residents in the aforementioned community. After that, to follow up on it, staff made several site visits and met with those residents on at least 2 occasions before, after this directive was given, although staff had been involved from the beginning of construction there. We looked into multiple complaints, including the one centered around an easement being taken from the residents and being given to the development.
What we found after extensive research, we went back to the original plats of the neighborhood, which was many, many decades ago. We looked at the subsequent replat. We looked at the plat in the 1960s that established the canal. We looked at the plat that established the development that's been spoken about tonight. All of those plats are consistent in where the easements are and who the land belongs to. Based on those plats, which are legal documents that are in the county courthouse and assigned by licensed surveyors, and all of those plats, it shows that there were no exchanges of property from the residents to the city or to any developers. The 5-foot easement exists at the rear of the properties along the canal. It still stays there today on the side where the canal existed. That canal right-of-way was abandoned by this council and turned into an easement under which there is a drainage pipe that's under construction today. So we were able to verify through all of those legal documents, through multiple staff members, that the property boundaries are where they have always been. The easements, the 5-foot easement that was on those residential properties is still there. Their properties were not included in any replats to establish this development, and the developer has been following all of the construction regulations, building codes, and best practices. And there are staff members that are regularly visiting the site to ensure that they abide by those best practices that have been identified. So we created a report of all of our findings, and we did report them and met with and reported them to Ms. Hubbard and other residents who were concerned about the matter, to make sure they understood that the city staff did a thorough and thoughtful investigation of those complaints, and that thus far there have been no violations of the development agreements, any city regulations, construction practices, and the staff did speak with the developer as well, who also met with the residents with the intent of being a good neighbor and responding to those complaints. But that is what took place, and the research that was done along with all of the attachments, all of the plats that were involved, the site plan resolutions, everything involved in this development was all researched thoroughly to respond to these complaints. And I'm here if there are any questions.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Sermon, on the 5-foot easement that you said still exists for the residents, what type of easement is that?
It is a utility easement.
The 5-foot setback, first of all, let me just confirm, is the setback only 5 foot for the back end, for the back setback?
Setback is a zoning term. I'm not sure if that's what was intended when that came up.
The distance from the property line to the building, not the building, to the other property line is the setback.
The setback for the commercial property, I'm not aware at this moment what the zoning code requires for that setback. But the setback is the minimum distance between the building and the property line.
Yeah. So, well, my question is because 5 feet seem to be a very short setback. I mean, residential homes have more setback than that.
And that's correct. I am not stating on the record in this meeting that the setback is 5 feet. The buildings themselves, which setbacks are measured against, are very far from the property line. There is a privacy wall that is proposed 5 foot from the property line. And that privacy wall, it was the rear of the property, 5 feet, and then a 6-foot wall meant to make sure that any of those commercial operations do not spill over and negatively impact the quality of life of those existing homeowners.
Who determined the distance for the wall from the property line?
There were a lot of conversations involved in that. There are drainage swales that go on at the north end of the property that are a consideration for that gap. There is the consideration of making sure the wall isn't too far from existing fences to create negative spaces. But so to answer your question, there are a lot of considerations that go into where the wall is located. But as long as there is a privacy wall there, the project meets the code.
the distance is what seems to be some of the residents' complaints. Is there any discussion with, and I haven't met with the residents, but I will, is there any discussion with the builder regarding possibly moving it further away from the residents?
In my follow-up to these complaints, I did speak with the developer, and the developer's attorney also followed up with information. And according to them, they met on site with residents who had made complaints, and that they had come to an agreement on how to move forward. That's the understanding I have.
Wait, stop right there.
Yes.
You said that they met with the residents and they came to an agreement with the developer? Is that how I heard you?
According to communications I got from their attorney, they have been in communications with residents who make complaints.
Please don't interrupt. Please. Okay. Was that agreement reduced to writing? Do you know?
The agreement they mentioned is consistent with the approved site plan, which is that the privacy.
Yeah, wait, slow down. Not to interrupt you, because I want to move on to the next item. But the agreement that you said the residents and the developer agreed upon, was that reduced to writing? That you know of?
What I am told came of those conversations is that there will be 5 feet between the privacy wall and the property line, and that is consistent with the approved site plan.
But Mr. Sermon, very clear question. Was the agreement reduced to writing?
I will say yes, because there's an approved site plan that's consistent with what was told to me.
I like that information. I don't want to continue and hold up the meeting, but I would like to see that.
You can send it to all of us.
Huh?
You can send it to all of us.
Yes.
I would like to know.
I'm referring to the approved site plan and resolution, and I can send that out. Yes.
And the agreement that you said that was between the residents and the developer.
If I can clarify, what they told me was discussed is the same thing that's on the existing site plan that's approved. So based on that, I'm saying it's in writing that there's going to be 5 feet between the property line and the wall, and I can send the approved site plan document that depicts that.
So it's not an agreement that was signed by the residents and the developer. You're saying it's on the site plan.
Correct.
Okay, we'll talk later. I'll follow up.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Sermon's manager, is there anything we can do in our positions to support the residents by speaking with the developers or staff speaking with the developers to see if there's any type of compromise? Because that is very close. I mean, if we're talking about a fence to fence, that's real close for a commercial building.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
With respect to that, I can, Director Sermons and I can have a conversation with the developer, and if they have their legal counsel present, we can have our legal counsel present to see if there's an amicable solution or a resolution to the particular issue that addresses the additional 5 feet that the residents are talking about. And if there is no deviation from the approved site plan, we can inform the board accordingly.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for that, because I hear what you're saying, like they're within their right, but we want to try to assist our residents as well. So yeah, we're in line with what is legal and everything in writing, but we want to help our residents who are saying, please help us because they are encroaching on our property. So if there's anything we can do. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So, Director Sermons, I have 2 questions. One, I would suggest that you speak to the owners and ask if any of them still have their title reports, and look and see what the surveys show, the meets and bounds descriptions on their property, because if they have title insurance, they'll have something to go after. And maybe they're correct. Maybe they're right and the developer's wrong, and that's one good way to find out, because those title reports usually go back to when they purchased the home, and a lot of these homeowners have been there for years and years and years. The second thing I would suggest, being a developer, is meeting with the homeowners and coming up with maybe a 10-foot landscape barrier between that wall, the concrete wall that they have there, and where the project is going to start. Another 5 feet should not make a difference if it doesn't impact our zoning code requirements. It looks to me like they're probably going to have a parking lot in the back there. They're probably going to put stores in the front and parking in the back. There'll be the deliveries and I guess sanitation, whatever, will come through the back. So I think adding a heavily landscape barrier or buffer between that property and working with the community on that might resolve the issue. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just to piggyback on that, that is the conversations. I was at the actual visit with the residents, and the additional footage was speaking with the developer. So those conversations, I agree with Councilman Spirit, is seeing if there's any space or leverage to give the additional landscape buffer, moving the wall an additional 5 to 10 feet so that they can have not just the easement, but an additional buffer between commercial and residential. So they are very close. But we did ask to make sure they took pictures of their properties so that no damage was actually done and if there was anything that could be reported, but then also the title work. We did ask them to provide that as well at the meeting. So if any residents, if we can't follow back with the residents as abutting 23rd Street to see if they actually have that title work to support the claims. But more importantly, just advocating with the developer. The developer, from what I remember, is easy to work with, and he's adamant about bringing a good quality project. So in the opinion of what's happening and overseeing with a lot of the residents from Monroe Heights, seeing what we can come with an amicable solution as quickly as possible. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Summers, for that information. I'm hoping that we can come to a resolution to be clear, I voted against that project. And Mr. Shaman Anderson also voted against it because we knew this was going to happen. So, yes, let's do everything that we can to make sure that the residents feel as if their requests or asks have been honored. Thank you so much, Mr. Summers. We can go to our next item. Madam Chair, Clerk.
Madam Chair, we are on item 6F. Chairperson.
Were there any other questions you could answer, Mr. Evans, for the public comment?
Yes, Madam Chair. With regards to the investigation, we are close to bringing that item before the board, and so we will be setting a date for a meeting to have that discussion, and so there will be subsequent follow-ups with impacted parties, and I had a conversation with the attorney this afternoon.
Thank you. Madam Chair?
Yes, we'll go to our next item, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, we are on item 6F, Chairperson Awards, that was added to the agenda by Chairperson Lanier.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Councilperson, Council Chair Shirley Lanier. I'm here because as a chairperson, helping to put the agenda together, helping to look at the city as a whole. It is a lot of work, and the employees who are working at the City of Riviera Beach work very, very, very hard. These things that you see before you, these room setups, the things that are happening around the city, it is the employees who are the ones that are making this happen. So I wanted to take this moment to do a chairperson award that I will do every quarter for employees who have shown exemplary work in terms of making sure that this city runs the way that it does. Our first chairperson award tonight goes to someone whose impact on the City of Riviera Beach spans more than 2 decades, Mr. Walter Stevens, our newly appointed Communications and Marketing Director. Before stepping into his leadership role, Before stepping into his leadership role, Mr. Stevens proudly served the city for over 20 years, bringing with him a deep well of institutional knowledge, professionalism, and a steadfast commitment to excellence. He was the visionary behind the creation of Riviera Beach TV, Channel 18, giving Riviera Beach its own televised voice. He also led the city's bold entry into the digital media space, building and managing our social media platforms and online communication tools long before it became standard. Much of the structure that exists today within the communications and marketing department was built upon the foundation Mr. Stevens laid through years of dedication, innovation, and forward-thinking strategy. His legacy continues to grow how we engage with our residents and tell the story of our city. Tonight, we honor Mr. Stevens not just for his title, but for the legacy of leadership, loyalty, and vision he continues to bring to the city of Riviera Beach. Got it. All right. Thank you. Stand right here. All right. Our next chairperson award goes to Miss Nydia Reynolds, Assistant Finance Director. Miss Nydia Reynolds, someone whose quiet strength and unwavering dedication making a lasting impact every single day. Nydia consistently goes above and beyond the call of duty, whether it's working long nights, and I know this for a fact, or returning early the next morning. She does so without complaint and with a deep sense of commitment to the work and the people around her. What's truly remarkable is the way that she supports everyone, regardless of their title or position, with humility, professionalism, and grace. She is a steady presence in the finance department and a trusted resource for staff across the city. Nydia's work ethic, her responsiveness, and her collaborative spirit embody the very best of public service. Tonight, we honor Nydia Reynolds not only for her outstanding contributions to the city's financial operations, but for her kindness, humility, and quiet excellence she brings to everything she does. Okay. Our last chairperson award goes to Miss Sinead Simon.
Idiot.
Miss Sinead Simon is our. Come on down. Miss Sinead Simon is our principal planner in our developmental services department, where she leads long-range planning efforts with vision and purpose. But Sinead is not only a valued city employee, she is also a proud resident of the city of Riviera Beach. She truly embodies what it means to live, work, and play in this community. Her commitment does not stop when she leaves City Hall. Sinead actively participates in civic engagement across the city, including her services on the Riviera Beach Education Committee and her involvement in various neighborhood and civic initiatives. She is always looking for opportunities to empower, uplift, and support our community, both in her professional capacity and in her personal time. Her dedication to shaping a better future for Riviera Beach is evident in everything that she does. For her leadership, her heart for service, and her unwavering commitment to this city we all call home, I am deeply grateful. Tonight, we proudly honor Sinead Simone for being a true example of what it means to serve with purpose, passion, and pride. And she makes planning and developmental services fun. So when she does her presentations, we don't fall asleep. No thanks, Mr. Service, not to you now. No shade at you, Mr. Service. But it becomes very technical, but she knows how to bring it where we can understand it. So I really appreciate this. So thank you so much, Ms. Sinead. Council members, Mayor, let's go. Second row. Second row. very good. Also, too, we have two new employees that we'd like to introduce to the public. Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair and members of the board, it's with great privilege that I bring up some new members of the executive management team and reintroduce some. So at first, I'd like an opportunity to bring up and recognize, obviously, our new communications director, Mr. Walter Stevens. And we're certainly happy to have Walter leading the operation. And to the chair's point, a lot of the things that the community has seen concerning our digital presence, our communication strategies, and a lot of the things that we are moving forward with the organization were built because of Walter's stick-to-itiveness, innovation, and so we're excited to have him in the leadership role. And so I want to provide Mr. Stevens Director Stevens to provide an opportunity to address the board. And I'll give you a joke. I called him and I said, Director Stevens, I've got two options for you. One, you're either going to change your auto signature on your email, or I'm going to pay you what you used to make at your previous position. And he said, I'm going to pull over right now and change my. So I want to introduce Director Stevens to our community and obviously reintroduce him as leading our communications function here with the city. Director
And he's
Stevens.
also a rattler. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I'm excited about the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be able to serve. It's an honor to be able to serve the residents, serve my constituents, and I'm ready to go to work. You're going to start to see them more and more on TV talking. You're going to start to see our mayor all in the videos. And we're going to be excited and energetic with telling our city story. We have great relationships with some of the reporters in the local media, and we want to help them assist us in telling our story and reaching out to the residents too. We want your help too. I mean, we're in this together. We're a team, and we're just excited about the future, and we're ready to go to work. Thank you.
All right.
At this time, I'd ask for our new Chief Information Officer, Mr. Caruso, to come up and be introduced to our community. He has extensive experience in information technology. He is very well respected in the industry and holds virtually every certification you can imagine in information systems, so we're glad to have him aboard. Mr. Caruso?
Thank you very much. Honored to be here, and I thank Mr. Evans for giving me this opportunity. I'm very excited. I feel like I'm coming in at a great time in the community, and I look forward to supporting our staff and everybody and all the residents to improve every aspect I can using information technology. Obviously it's needed in every aspect of life, so I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. And the next individual is Mr. Bernard Buxton Tete. He is our Public Works Director. He's a professional engineer and has an extensive experience as it relates to infrastructure. And one joke about our new Public Works Director, him and I had the opportunity to work together at the City of Largo, where I was the assistant to the city manager. And so he knows a slimmer, younger version of me. So I was glad that he applied for this position, has worked in large organizations and brings extensive experience in some of the community aesthetics and some of the pressure washing and cleaning that you're seeing happening throughout the city is a testament to his involvement. And actually, a joke that we heard this morning is that one of the residents told the assistant city manager is that they saw him out walking in our community, and they said they used some colorful language, and they said they liked him because they hoped they didn't scare him away. So he is now welcome to our community. So, Mr. Tete.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. And I want to say I find it very privileged to be part of this community and an honor to serve in this role. My challenge is for our residents. It's my goal to work with everyone in this community. So we're not afraid of the calls.
What I'm asking is when you see something and it's wrong, just call us. That's our goal. We'll fix it. So we want to work with you on that. So just call us and we'll address our issues. But thank you very much for the privilege.
Yes. All right, thank you guys so much. Welcome to the city of Riviera Beach. We're hoping that you are soon to live in our city as well. That is what we want all of our residents, all of our employees to do, is to make sure that at some point they live in the city in which they work. So thank you so much for being here, and we shall move on in the agenda. Thank you, sirs. Okay, let's go to our next item. This is our regular agenda. Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, we are on item 11A, resolution number 84-25, authorizing the health care coverage with Cigna Healthcare of Florida and authorizing the Director of Finance to make payments. Madam Chair, we don't have any comment cards on this item. The acceptance of cards is closed.
So moved.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair and members of the board, I'd ask for the Director of Human Resources, Mr. Costi, to make this presentation.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Honorable Mayor, and councilpersons. Tennille DeCosti, Director of Human Resources.
3 minutes.
Gotcha, sir.
You know what?
Okay.
Now he wants to talk all night. Now he wants to let people say they got 3 minutes. But go ahead, Mr. Costa.
Good evening, Steve Goose, Senior HR Manager.
So we're here for authorization to renew our health insurance with Cigna Healthcare of Florida. Just to give you some history, for fiscal year 24-25, the cost was about $7.58 million to cover health insurance for our employees. Our utilization rate is about 101%. Initially, Cigna came with the proposal of 13% increase to our premiums, but our great senior manager negotiated down to 4.9% increase, which is a new total cost of $8.96 million. We did go out for other vendors to see if we can get better insurance or richer insurance, or cheaper. Aetna proposed a $10.8 million compared to the $8.96 Cigna offered. Florida Blue declined to quote, and United Health, we did not get a response. There are no changes to the existing medical plan or designs. There is a plus. Cigna was kind enough to negotiate with our wellness dollars. We were receiving $50,000. They increased it to $75,000. Which is great because we need to focus on our wellness to get our utilization numbers down. We're at 101%, average is 85%, so we have a lot of work to do. And it will come in different phases, as the city manager and I have been talking about doing an RFP for a wellness center for employees and doing monthly events for wellness initiatives. We do have our open enrollment coming up August 18th through September 8th, and our employees are going to have another wonderful, amazing health fair on September 4th.
Thank you. Any questions from the board in regards to this item? Madam?
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I apologize for cutting you off. Cigna is here as well if you have any questions. Sorry about that.
Hi, Cigna. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Penier?
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus?
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
We're going now into there are 4 items for discussion and deliberation this evening. But when these items are presented, I need you to have briefly talk about what it is that you're presenting, and I also want to know up front what it is you're asking the council to do tonight. Understand?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, are you accepting public comment cards for the discussion items?
Do we have to? Do we do that? Okay, yeah, we can do it. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the first discussion item.
Madam Chair, under discussion and deliberation, item 12A, arts in public places, master plan presentation and discussion.
Ooh.
He's coming.
Mr. Sermons?
I beg your pardon, Madam Chair.
I don't know if you heard the instructions.
I did not.
The instructions are a brief presentation, brief, like 3-minute presentation, and then you're going to tell us what you need from us tonight.
Understood.
Very good.
Good evening again. Clarence Sermons, Director of Development Services. The presentation we have for you this evening is related to the Art in Public Places program that was established by Ordinance 4245, created Chapter 32, which requires a Art in Public Places master plan to complete the implementation process. You also authorize the consultant firm from which you will have a speaker this evening to draft that master plan. The purpose of this evening's presentation is to give you an overview of that plan, make sure you understand everything that's in it, and so that we can receive any feedback you have on it. And once we get that, we'll bring it back to you in the form of an adoption ordinance. So with that, I will yield the floor to Ms. Simon, who has been overseeing the development of the Art in Public Places Master Plan, and she will let you know what you need to know about this presentation.
Thank you.
In 3 minutes.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, wherever you have disappeared to, esteemed Madam Chair, esteemed council members, staff, community members, and all those that are interested in the city of Riviera Beach. My name is Sinead Simon. As my great leader, Mr. Clarence Sermons, has said, I am here with 2 amazing women by my side. Come on over. Ms. Terrell, who will be talking in a few minutes about her role here on our advisory board, as well as Ms. Anna, who is also going to talk about what Designing Local has been doing with us here in the city. They'll introduce themselves as well. But we are honored, we are excited to present today's plan, because that means we are one step away from adoption in order to see our town painted amazingly in the next few years, and the work that we've been putting together. Today we're going to be talking about 2 things. We're going to talk about where we've been going within the last year with our plan and developing this plan, as well as developing our board. So we'll talk about a couple of our milestones, and then we'll also talk about the plan itself. And so what are we doing? Here's where we've been since 2024. So long ago, it's been about a year. So in January, our city council leaders created the Public Arts Program. That happened in January of 24. And then in May of 24, Designing Local, as Mr. Sermon said, was contracted to begin the master plan. However, we begin that a little bit later in the year, once we finally get all the forms signed and all. But our board members, we've had amazing board members that we've been working with that were appointed by the board in August of 24. And I will talk a little bit more about the board in a second. And then we began plan development. Our plan development has been guided by our board and the input of our community. I'm really excited. You're going to be excited when you see it. I hope so. And what we're asking from you all tonight is your feedback. We're asking for your recommendations. You have it in your packet, so that way it gives you some time to kind of reflect through it, and you'll have some time after tonight. But we really want your recommendation and your thoughts on the plan that we have that we'll be presenting tonight. Just a slide, please. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the board. I'm going to go really fast because I know I have 30 seconds. We have 7 appointed members. 3 of those appointed members are art professionals in different areas of art. Ms. Terrell will talk a little bit about what she does as well. And then the other 4 are residents here in our community. Our professionals could be from the community, and if we can't find ones that have applied from our community, we have one that's included outside of our community. We also have 2 alternates. Those positions are vacant. For those that are still interested in joining the Arts Advisory Board, we have some positions open. Please join us. They serve a 3-year term, and they meet monthly in City Hall every 3rd Tuesday. So those alternates that are going to be applying, we meet every 3rd Tuesday at 6 p.m. in City Hall. And we're led by 3 officers, a chair, a vice chair, as well as our secretary that helps us get everything in order. It's amazing. Ms. Terrell Goldwire.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Terrell Goldwire, and I have the honor of serving as the chair of the Art in Public Places Board of Riviera Beach.
I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and recognize our dedicated board members who have generously volunteered their time and talents. Our vice chair, no one is here, but we're going to still acknowledge them. Our vice chair, Mr. Manley Jerome, our secretary, Ms. Tizra Gabrielle, our board member, Ms. Breon Moses, another board member, Ms. Gloria Harris, another board member, Ms. Josephine Posty, and we have a youth board member, Mr. Joseph Giamo. Since last year, we have come together with a shared passion for the arts in all their forms. Through our meetings, we exchanged creative ideas, shared our expertise and experiences, and worked collaboratively to support and elevate the presence of art throughout Revere Beach. As a board, we proudly support and approve the Art in Public Places Master Plan being presented this evening. We believe this plan reflects our city's commitment to cultural expression, community engagement, and artistic excellence. We thank you for your continued support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. And now we'll be talking about what we're here for. Once again, we need your feedback. We want your recommendations and your thoughts. So, to the presentation.
Thank you, Sinead. Thank you again for inviting me this evening to talk about this plan. I have to praise Sinead. She's been a true delight of a person to work with. So you got your award this evening, so I feel like that's your kudos, and she's earned it. My name is Anna Tellerico, and as Sinead said, I am with Designing Local. Our firm is based in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm joining you from this evening. We've been doing place-based plans, across the country for over 10 years now, specifically focusing on public art, arts, and culture. And so what we're bringing to Riviera Beach is really a suite of best practices and recommendations that feel scaled to your community, your resources, and your city. So I feel like this has slid over a little bit. Apologies. There we go. As Sinead said, our process kicked off last summer, and we are at the tail end here, and we finally have our plan to share. I just want to provide a brief overview of the current public art in your city, which you all know very well. It's bold, it's vibrant, it celebrates cultures and history, and it really is a reflection of what constitutes the spirit of your community and the stories that it can tell. And so the community engagement piece and the listening piece is a critical part of our process. All of our recommendations for where public art can go, what it could possibly look like, and how it could be scaled to your community really began with us listening. So we did a little bit of in-person engagement last October, but we also popped up at several other events and were able to engage with hundreds of residents through in-person conversations and an online survey, as well as one-on-one focus groups. And so a lot of our conversations centered around what kind of public art do you want to see, where do you want to see it, and what should be the impact and the purpose of this public art. So we came to the realization that based on what the community shared with us, Riviera Beach can really be a community where public art is a connector. It could connect multiple entities, multiple partners, multiple neighborhoods, and this is really the foundation of where our recommendations are coming from. I don't know why this is, there we go. So our vision statement for public art in the city of Riviera Beach is public art in Riviera Beach will be a source of positive and enriching connection across cultures, neighborhoods, and beyond. It will specifically emphasize the following types of connections: connecting people to local cultures, connecting people with mental, physical, and creative wellness, connecting neighbors, connecting through kinship, and connecting with natural treasures, of which you have very, very many. So this is an overview of a map where we have located all of our public art recommendations. This is all the recommendations mapped together, grouped by the different categories. So this is a map that you'll see in different iterations throughout the presentation. The first recommendation, connecting people to local cultures, really begins with some streetscape improvements, leveraging existing infrastructure by enhancing it with color, possibly murals, possibly crosswalk bump outs to enhance pedestrian safety in key areas around the city, and continue this legacy that you all are already leaving of bringing murals into Riviera Beach to really enhance the sense of place. But we also think that there's a number of sculpture opportunities in the city that could either be temporary, so they're here for a little bit and then they go, or permanent kind of larger scale investments. And we think those could occur in regular pedestrian areas embedded within neighborhoods to really reflect neighborhood identity,
and form these cultural anchors where people live. Connecting people with mental, physical, and creative wellness is another fundamental benefit of public art in cities. And so we believe that the municipal beach access at Oceans Mall is a key site to leverage this strategy. So we think public art could, of course, appear as murals and sculptures in sort of the conventional means that we might all be used to, but it can also be a vehicle for the less conventional ideas. So artist designed benches that could be adorned with mosaics or amplified in really creative ways. We think that the municipal beach access could be a site for public art activations, either through a sand sculpture competition or other sort of open air experience. But we also think that there are opportunities throughout the city as there's more park and trail and walking opportunities to use these sites as places for public art applications, either through concrete treatments or mosaics or other type of sandblasted techniques in various ways. Of course, public art is a connector of neighbors across neighborhoods, and we think that this can really be achieved by convening a lot of these ideas at the marina, which is truly sort of like the town square and a big connector of neighbors already. So we have a number of different interventions that we think could be really effective here, ranging from kinetic sculptures, so sculptures that move with the elements, really playing into the natural circumstances that characterize your city, as well as immersive suspended installations. Again, these could be temporary, they could be permanent, they could be a combination of both. We love the chain link fence idea that you guys are already using in the city, and we think it should be enhanced, augmented, and really amplified. But we also think that your fences could be, oh no. Oh my goodness, it is just jumping ahead. It may have just, you know. Oh dear. That was a sign. That was a sign. That was a sign to hurry it up. It was divine intervention. But one of the biggest points of connection among neighbors should be your gateways. Your gateways, and I know this might be a familiar image to many of you. This is from Delray Beach. They have some beautiful gateway artwork. This could be a great way to kind of create a sense of place in your city, really welcome people to Riviera Beach and celebrate that sense of place. We've had a lot of discussions with our team internally about some of the plans that are in the works, in discussion, I should say, at President Barack Obama Highway and Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. We think this area should really obviously celebrate the people that this important intersection is named for. This could be through contemplative spaces in the city-owned parcel off in the corner, or this could be through more passive installations of murals or mosaics to enhance and provide treatment on the wall off to the right. Some precedent images. And I know I'm going fast. We highly recommend, speaking of direct connections with neighbors, we highly recommend partnering with Palm Trans to see what types of bus stop enhancements might be possible to improve ridership and create a more interesting experience, and leveraging unconventional canvases like utility poles or streetlights for places where public art can really enhance walkability. Connecting through kinship, so connecting with the history and sort of stories that built this city. We really think that some vacant and underused city parcels could be sites for convening neighbors, gathering, and creating these community kind of anchor places, either through murals or functional art or even pollinator gardens that could be designed by artists. We think lighting the Blue Heron Bridge can really be a point of celebration for the city and kind of put a signature stamp on celebrating Riviera Beach's heritage and the natural elements around it. And then moving on to our final point of connection, we want to enhance people's connections with nature. We want to elevate this environmental experience that literally surrounds your city, and public art can really support that. So there's many access alcoves on the water, both on the mainland as well as over in Singer Island, where we think public art can be a tool for preventing access into the water at these sites, but also provide some beauty. And then we also think all your sidewalks could use different activations to enhance, again, that pedestrian experience and encourage mobility through public art. So how do we get here? What are our next steps? As Sinead said, we hope that the plan will be adopted, as well as some recommended ordinance updates to bring the ordinance into best practices, as well as some sound policies to govern your collection and steward it appropriately. We, of course, want to expand your funding for public art in any way we can, and so that's built into our ordinance recommendations, as well as creating a formalized public art administrator position to make all these wonderful things happen. And then finally, we highly recommend engaging with public and private partnerships to really leverage options for public art placement in the city. I think that's it for me.
Excellent. I hope you guys are excited, and I hope she painted a picture of where we could be going with this, where we would like to go with it. This is the opportunity that we're asking for you all to give feedback of what you just reviewed, what you've just been able to see, so that way we can collect that information and work it through our plan.
Any questions from the board? I still want to ask about the corner of Barack Obama and Martin Luther King Boulevard. We asked for a state designation for that site because there's only like 3 other sites in the country that have that intersection. And they said that the person that they name it for, or the state gives this designation for, would have to be dead 50 years. So, and that's for our other conversation coming up too about the names for the roads. But anyway, I want to really, have some focus on that section, and also kudos to the mayor for introducing this program in the first place to the city.
Madam Chair.
So yes, go ahead, sir.
Madam Chair, I would encourage, as we bring this before the board, we move very quickly to adopt the appropriate plan and the ordinances. There is talks about in Tallahassee concerning public art and public art funds and cities that have that. And so there is a potential of bills that will look to eliminate that because the development community has lobbied very heavily on that. So just some context for the board's consideration.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And those were actually my comments. So thank you, Mr. Evans. That's conversations that we had, and also with our state and federal lobbyists. They're going against these programmings that would really help beautify our community. So I want to expedite this process as quickly as possible and commend my former legislative aide, Javaris Jackson, because he did the due diligence research across the entire state, finding programming to help with presenting and bringing this to the board, which we passed unanimously. And then what you guys have taken this is to great levels. So I'm excited to get it done. But as Mr. Evans said, if we can move forward with a policy, implement and strategically roll these funding out and get it into the community so that we can utilize the funds that are available. There was a question that I have. Currently, Mr. Evans, did we get the dollar amount of what we currently have in the pot for arts and public places?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
$244,000 is in the Art and Public Places Fund.
So with that being said, Madam Chair, the reason that we want to try to expedite this is that if they eliminate this programming, I'm not sure what actually happens with those dollars. I don't know if they're going to be grandfathered in or if they'd be returned to the developer, but the development community is pushing aggressively against these type of programming. And this is comparable to what I want to see with the community benefits discussion, where that the developers are investing back into the community. So that's why we want to make sure, and Mr. Evans, I know we talked about community benefits and we spoke with the CRA about it, but that'll be an item for another day. This one allows for us to take direct funding that's a policy from the development community and implement them into beautification of the city. So I really would like the board to support this item and see if we can move it forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. I think that we're all in support of it, but the thing is to move forward quickly with it. So maybe in the next first September meeting, you can bring back everything that we need to make this happen.
We're pretty much ready. Yes.
Well, then we can bring it to the August 20th meeting. Let's not tally around.
Wait a minute.
We can bring it to the August 20th. Is that doable? Is it not doable? Oh.
It's divine intervention right there.
Okay, Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Service.
Yes, we're moving rapidly as possible. We wanted to make sure the board was comfortable with the proposed art and public places plan first. So our next step is to bring the ordinance to the planning and zoning board.
I see.
14.
And into the land development code. After they provide their recommendation, we will have the ordinance before you ASAP. But we do believe September is doable to have the ordinance in front of you.
Okay, very good.
Madam
Thank
Chair?
you.
Sure.
Yes, Davis.
Okay. Next door
Sorry.
to you. Okay, so do we present our suggestions to you? Do we just email you? How do you want us to give our feedback?
How do you want to do that?
now via email afterwards. We can set up a meeting, a one-on-one call or anything of that nature, or through the manager, of course, to receive your feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Spiritus?
That was my question. So
And also, let me stop here to wish Commissioner Spiritus happy birthday. Today is his birthday.
I've been known to sing it.
Yes, yes. Thank you for your presentation. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you guys in September.
Excellent.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, next item.
Madam Chair, the next item is 12B, discussion on road naming to honor community leaders. We do have 2 public comment cards on this discussion item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair and members of the board, at this time I would ask for the Director of the Development Services Department, Mr. Clarence Sermons, to make this presentation.
Mr. Sermons?
Good evening again. The discussion and deliberation item before you this evening was at the request of a member of the council. So what I have prepared is a very brief summary of the existing policy related to street naming, a copy of which is being passed out to you right now. So briefly, the policy outlines the city's stance towards naming streets and when that's required, renaming streets, and what the criteria looks like in both situations. As it relates to renaming of streets, which is the nature of the request for this presentation, to summarize it, the policy limits situations in which streets can be renamed as to correct errors. However, there is language also allowing this body to rename a street in honor of a person. The criteria set for that is that the individual has achieved prominence as a result of his or her significant contribution to the United States of America and or the local community. And there are 2 secondary criteria that the person must meet. The individual has been deceased for a period of no less than 5 years, or City Council determines that the street should be renamed in honor of a living person because of exceptional circumstances. So as long as the situation meets at least 2 of those 3 criteria, it would be consistent with your policy.
Where are you reading that from, Mr. Sermons?
I am under, it should be the 3rd page you have, under section 4, renaming streets.
Okay.
And again, at least 2 of those items under A, B, and C must be met to be consistent with this policy. All street name changes will require a review and recommendation from the Development Services Department. It goes on to,
Madam Chair.
Miller Anderson, then the mayor.
So are we still talking about just adding the name to the street, but it doesn't take away from the previous name?
correct. This
Okay.
is, just honorary names.
Okay.
It wouldn't affect the address of those along those streets.
Okay, thank you.
Is that how it is now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have several streets that have honorary names or vanity names at the top, and then the hard post office street name is still on the sign.
Right, okay. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And that was my question. Thank you, Ms. Miller Anderson. I wanted to just make sure it was clear to the community that these are vanity names and ceremonious names for these streets. And after the discussion and we hear public comment, I wanted to put 2 recommendations forward for possible consideration by the board to send to staff to review and come back with recommendations.
Go ahead with your recommendation, sir.
Okay. The first would be Devin Hester to acknowledge and recognize for 13th Street. As one of the only individuals inducted into the Football Hall of Fame, I think that would actually put him into the position of having one of the prominent status across this country. So I'd want to recommend Mr. Devin Hester for 13th Street and Bishop Thomas Masters for 9th Street as serving as 12-year mayor and also serving in this community for the 35 plus years. Those would be the 2 recommendations that I'd want to see if the board would opine on, consider, and also give direction to staff.
Yes,
Thank
go
you, Madam
ahead.
Chair.
Mr. Sermons, I had a question. Does it have to be a person's name? Could it be an organization? Miami Gardens has done something with the Divine Nine, and I was wondering, and I had been contacted by several residents about that being a possibility.
The way I see the policy, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
The way I interpret the policy is silent on naming it after organizations for honorary names. So I would probably get consultation on that to determine if there needs to be an amendment to this for it to be consistent with your policy or not. But at the moment, it's silent on anything other than honorary street names for a person.
Okay, Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
can we ask that staff manager, can you research that for us? Thank you.
And also, too, anyone who wants to add a name, just send an email to Mr. Sermons and ask him about a name or an organization. And then we're going to move to the next item. Are we good with that?
We have public comments, Madam Chair?
We got public comment?
Yes, we have 2 public
Okay.
comment cards.
Yes.
The
Go
first is Doretta Polk,
ahead. She's gone.
Thane Lozman,
Thane Lozman. I'm just going to preface my comments that the rules of decorum are unconstitutional. I said at the last meeting, and I'm challenging that in the coming months. I think Mr. Lawson has a good idea with the roads, but I think it's incomplete. We're surrounded by bodies of water.
Mr. Lozman, could you address the whole entire board, please? Thank you.
Addressing Mr. Lawson at the moment.
I understand
Okay.
that, but could you?
I said Mr. Lawson had a good idea.
No, listen,
Mr. Lawson is
Mr.
on the
Lozman.
agenda for bringing this forward. It wasn't brought forward by the council. Anyway, Mr. Lawson had a good idea to look at that's what it was labeled. He brought it. You didn't bring it. And stop interrupting me when I'm up here talking.
I can do,
Mr.
Actually, Madam Chair, for clarity, it was brought by Clarence Sermons and staff, and I don't believe she was interrupting, she was getting clarity. So as my chair stated, please address the chair, and thank you, Mr. Lozman. Continue.
I didn't hear what you said.
Madam Chair.
Anyway, I think the naming of streets is fine, but we're surrounded by bodies of water. And Munyon's Cove really has nothing to do with Big Munyon Island. That's in the park. And I think there's different bodies of water around Riviera Beach that should be named after important individuals who contributed to this city. I think the marina should have been renamed after Charles Newcomb. He donated the 10 acres of land. Just naming a conference room after somebody that donated that tremendous piece of property when they could have left it to his heirs, that needs to be renamed. So I think it's just more than roads. I think water bodies in the city need to be renamed accordingly.
thank you. Next.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
one of the things that I've noticed with the naming is the name is on the top and the actual street is on the bottom. And when you do Uber or anything like that, that obviously top name doesn't come up. And I've been told that sometimes I don't know if it's confused the drivers, but it has been an issue with respect to some of the latest
Systems.
navigating system. The naming of the streets at one time got completely out of hand. Completely. If you supported somebody in the campaign, you get your name street. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't spiral out of control again, because it reduces it diminishes the significance of having names when everybody got one. You get a street, you get a street, you get a street. It's like Oprah Winfrey. So I'm just hoping that there's more control in naming streets. And I'm not trying to disparage anybody or anybody named who's already up there. I'm just talking in general about naming streets. We went overboard at one time, and it kind of took the significance out of it. There is one person that has contributed to this community for at least 40, 50 years and still contributing. And that is Mayor Ron Felder's father. And I think if we're going to consider names, he's contributed to this community for decades and still contributes. I would like to put his name out there.
Okay.
I haven't even thought about that. I get back to you.
He'll get you the name. But let me ask this: is there something that is in this policy that allows for, like, say, every council there's only can be 2 names, in a term or something like that, so that we can control that?
Good idea.
We could just think about some language that we want to add to it that basically says, during a term, there's only 2 names that are going to be put forth, so that it won't be every council meeting there's a name.
Good. That's real.
So if you could draft something that looks similar to that, so that we can make sure that this doesn't happen every meeting.
Madam Chair, if I
Yes, go ahead.
also, other cities have also, on the street name, they actually have 2 distinct signs. So if it's 34th Street and then it's so-and-so, recognition, it's a separate sign. So it's a different color. It's not the standard green sign that you see. And that's how a lot of major cities do that. So we can look at that, and that may address the situation with some of the mobile apps or the navigation system. It's a distinct, different color to where when they do the GPS tracking, it's not picked up.
Okay, we can look at that as well.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just clarification, did you say 2 streets per term or per person?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know, okay.
I was just trying to
Okay,
get some
gotcha.
language to bring us some suggestions
Okay,
about how we can do this, so that it doesn't come into a meeting every time. Yeah.
I like that.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Mr. Service, you got your,
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may clarify, staff is going to move away from this meeting to research the name Devin Hester for 13th Street, Bishop Thomas Masters for 9th Street. I will have the name of Citizen Felder and that proposed street as well that we'll research. And then as far as policy potential changes research, the possibility of honorary naming after organizations as opposed to individuals. And then looking into language that would limit the number of renamings per year or session or term, but something that puts some guardrails on the frequency of honorary namings by this board.
right.
So we will look into all of those things and bring it back at the next appointed time.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
And just for clarity, I did pull the cover letter. It looks like on the cover letter, it does state that I requested information to bring this forward. So I believe the speaker was looking at the cover letter as opposed to the item, because I did ask to have this discussion, but staff did go ahead and present it. So the speaker was accurate in regards to asking about the information for that the mayor did want to bring this forward and have this discussion. So thank you.
Thank
Just want
you
to
so
clarify
much.
the record.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. I think this next item is yours as well. So you want to go ahead and discuss this? Now, tell me what you want from us for this.
I would defer to the elected official that made the request for this presentation. What staff has done is prepared a quick overview of the existing regulations that relate to mobile vendors. And if there's a desire to make changes to what's currently on our books, then staff is happy to receive that direction.
Okay. Was that you, person?
And I have a brief PowerPoint to summarize the points, because this ordinance is much longer than the previous.
Okay. Brief presentation. So what was some of the issues that came to you in regards to this item that they wanted to look at changes to it or additions to it?
Again, I'm not aware of what prompted it to be requested from staff, but I did prepare just a summary of what's currently on the books.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
So the original food truck, as they're affectionately called, mobile vendors is what the statutes and regulations designate the use as, was passed in 2009, amended in 2017 by the city. In 2020, there was a state statute that was passed regulating them that preempted a lot of the regulations related to trucks to the state. And so shortly thereafter, the city made its own updates to its
food truck regulations or mobile vendor regulations, which are listed on the screen before you. We can no longer require business tax receipts or fees related to food trucks. That's all preempted to the states. Updating definitions and things of that nature is what took place in the previous iteration for this ordinance. So right now, there are, in our local regulations for food trucks, there are multiple criteria related to where they can be located. For example, you can't block intersections, you can't be in medians and places that would be disruptive or interfere with circulation. There's setbacks and things of that nature. There are hours of operation that they must abide by, and it differs based on the day of the week. There are requirements that when they are not in operation, they can't just live on the property. They must move that food truck to a place of appropriate storage. They can't operate in residential neighborhoods. They must be associated with a registered business that has a CO and authorizes the food truck to be on that property. There are minimum and maximum signage requirements. There are parking requirements as well for where it locates. And this ordinance just it predates me, but it does do several things to make sure that food trucks or their visitors don't become a nuisance to the community and the properties that they serve. So we have multiple signing requirements, size, trash receptacles, cleaning up after themselves, not leaving the trucks there permanently, various regulations such as that food trucks must meet in our city. There's one additional provision that allows the food trucks to have a standing location at the marina at the vote and discretion of the CRA board. And so it is built in our code that there can be permanent food truck setup locations sponsored by the city through the CRA property, and that's according to section 10-263 of the ordinance. So that's a very quick and dirty overview of what our current regulations are, and if there is the desire or interest to investigate any changes to that, staff is here to receive them. Any issues with these? Any issues with the current mobile vendor ordinance that you would like to add, take away, whatever it is that whomever asked for it? Is there any direction from this board into any changes to this? None? Very good. There is none. Let's go to the next item. Do you need anything from us for this? Nothing from staff. All right, very good. Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, we're on item 12D, draft special events policy and updated fee schedule.
Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair, members of the board, at this time, if I can have the special events manager, Ms. Franks Edwards, to make this presentation to the board concerning the special events policy and the updated fee schedule.
So tell us about this policy, Mr. Evans, about what it is and why is it before us.
All right. Madam Chair, pursuant to a request made by the City Council, it was a desire to bring this item before the council to seek clarity on to how the board wishes to proceed. One of the things that we've heard from board members and even the events community that it is in some cases quite cumbersome to go through what is the special events process. And so as we look to make modifications to the policy, we wanted to get feedback and perspective from the board as to what are some of the items that you would look for us to modify in the actual policy. There is an ordinance that prescribes the creation of the policy, and that's an administrative tool. But Ms. Franks Edwards has actually worked on some elements here that we would like to get direction on the board to how we can do more events, but also how we can make sure that we stay within the confines of the policy.
Okay, Ms. Franks, briefly tell us about this special events policy and the updates you've made.
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Your microphone?
Oh, sorry. I'll do this a lot. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening. As we continue working to strengthen the planning and delivery of our city-sponsored events,
We recognize the importance of having a clear, consistent, and modern approach to how special events are managed and supported. Today's presentation is in reference to the updating of the special events policy and the associated fee schedule. The Special Events Committee has presented a draft of the revised special events policy for your review and direction. In addition, we are recommending a series of strategic enhancements for special events management, key improvements that will support better coordination, transparency, community engagement, and long-term sustainability for our events. Okay, how do I do this? Did I do it? Okay. Walter.
The arrow,
Madam
just the
Chair.
arrow or the space bar.
Right
Madam
here.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
can I just make a quick question? When it's a city-sponsored event, how does that play into the whole picture? He partners with a not-for-profit or someone else, are we going to have to go through these procedures as well?
Madam Chair, the question was that if it's a city-sponsored event, do they have to go through the same process? Can you explain the difference between what is a city-sponsored and then what is a regular, for-profit or
Yes.
event?
For a city-sponsored event, that does require our special events process, which is an online application, and you submit certain documents such as insurances. And then that process entails EDS, police services. So a city-sponsored event is also, depending on what they're requesting to be sponsored, may also have to come before council. So that's a city-sponsored event.
What, Madam Chair? So what determines whether it has to go before the city council?
Usually if they're asking for monetary donations, use of in-kind services, fee waivers of that sort, then of course we'll bring that before the board.
That makes sense. Thank
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Franks.
The Special Events Ordinance and accompanying policy and procedures manual was established in July of 2021. The Special Events position was budgeted late August 2023, and the Special Events Committee, Community Redevelopment, and staff have reviewed the policy and developed a draft and updated the fee schedule for consideration by the mayor and council. Sorry, y'all. It's important to know who is the Special Events Manager. It's the designated city employee that is responsible for overseeing and facilitating special events permitting processes. This individual serves as the primary point of contact for the applicant and coordinates the approval of process to ensure compliance with the special events policy and procedures, as well as city ordinances, ethical and state laws. The Special Events Manager also manages, plans, and coordinates all city-sponsored events, activities, including coordinating public and private events within the CRA, and ensures proper coordination of city assets for events and performs other related duties. It's important to point out that there is a committee, and on that committee consists of the Special Events Manager, our police, fire, public works, parks and rec, risk management, developmental services, and communications, and our CRA personnel. Why is it important to enforce our special events and be in compliance? Adherence to the special events policy serves as a critical preventive measure. It ensures the safety and well-being of our public, and it minimizes disruptions to the community. It helps protect the city from potential liabilities, financial risk, and associated with improperly managed events. And the policy also establishes a clear permitting structure and promotes transparency through the event planning approval process. Through our review of the existing policy that was established in July of 21, we have spoken to internal and external customers, and a lot of feedback was incorporated in the draft policy that is before you. So some of the items were to enhance customer experience by simplify and streamline the applicant process to be more user-friendly. Timely and complete submissions. Reduce issues with incomplete or late applications by reinforcing timeline adherence. Marketing material approval. Ensure all flyers and promotional materials receive prior approval from the Marketing, Communications, and Special Events Office. Improve coordination for police detail. Strengthen the collaboration between event organizers, EDS, and the Special Events Office.
Also clarifying the event type selection, making sure they understand a private versus public versus city sponsor as well. Some of the additional strategic enhancements for the special events management was alcohol sales as city-sponsored events, exploring the opportunity to regulate alcohol sales as a revenue-generating opportunity, update our fee schedule, review and revise the current fee schedule, incorporate our ethical policies and checks and balances.
Ms. Ranks?
Yes.
You don't have to read all that to us.
Okay, well, I would like to be thorough.
Okay,
Okay.
No, we
Y'all can tell I take this very seriously.
no, you can just.
So I'm going to expedite. Yes, thank you, Ms. Lanier.
Yeah, just highlight that for us.
Thank you, Chair Lanier. Create a master calendar, launch a special events webpage, and modernize the application process, and also work closely with our procurement department to create RFPs and solicitations. Also developing an online sponsorship package, purchasing event stage, also incorporating separation of duties and flow chart, late submittals and waiver approvals, and also host educational workshops. But tonight, again, the staff is recommending, respectfully recommends the mayor and city council provide guidance on the next steps for implementing the revised special events policy and associated fee structure.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I was just looking through here. On page 8, it says that all road closures shall be approved by the mayor.
That's a mistype. That is the, sorry, Mayor, I know that is not correct.
That's one of your powers to close the roads.
Yes. That will be corrected. Thank you. And I'll make sure I make a note of that.
Letter I. I on page,
Wait.
let's see, 8.
Who does have the authority to?
We do. It comes to the board, right?
Council.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, the council.
Yes.
Okay.
What page is
You
that?
put that in?
Oh, 8. You said.
7, the bottom,
Councilperson Miller
top of 8.
Anderson.
Top of 8.
This is a draft, so we'll be sure to correct that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may, I think it's provided for in the code where it's the city council, so
Yes, we'll correct that.
Yeah. Madam Chair. So what are you asking? Isn't this something you was asking about?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do have some comments.
Okay.
Quickly.
Yes, quickly.
Is there a special events budget line item in our overall budget?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, there is.
There is. Is it adequately funded?
Madam Chair? The monies that are in there, it's about $250,000 for special events budget.
Okay. I mentioned at one time, and I would hope that everybody's coordinating, the special events manager and you and whoever else involved. But every other community has something at least once a month, and I'm getting tired of being left out. I mean, Lake Park, West Palm, the other communities, they have regular events for their community to come together without any tension in politics and just have a drink and listen to some music or something. We don't have that. So I would hope that we start looking at a monthly event, which we had for years, and it was very nice, and it's adequately funded. You know, sometimes some name stars come through. And the last thing, I do support the alcohol at city-sponsored events. I want you to understand that if you add an event, I don't care who's sponsoring it, we got to have a good time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's a part of that. 1 second. Let me ask. That is something that's for the upcoming budget talks, isn't it? For that special events line item.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
The budget that was provided for the council review has the $250,000. Now, if the board wants to have discussions about additional monies, that will be part of your budget discussions.
Okay,
But
very
right now, it's $250,000.
Yeah, I think that's what the councilman is asking, to look at that for budgets.
Madam Chair?
All right, very good. Hold on a second, Mayor. Ms. Davis.
Sorry, Ms. Alidi.
Yes.
I see some lines in red. Are those the changes, or is there a way that you can send it back to us with the highlighted changes?
Yes,
or
of course.
updates? Okay.
Yes, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, that does work, yeah, because you can see where the changes happen at. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just quickly, I'm just going to go over some of the recommendations that I had. Myself and Councilman Guyton were ones that want to bring this item to the board, and I see we have a few minutes left. So the budget that we allocated, that was slotted for $250,000. How many events are we projected to do with that budgeted item, Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board,
Yes, go ahead.
our intent is to do 4 signature events as city events, but not to count with those smaller events, but 4 signature events.
Okay. In addition to, I believe the board approved 4 CRA and 4 city events for each councilman and the mayor, in addition to these 4 signature events. And that was previously, from my understanding of utilizing the space, resources, and support from the city. Just want to make sure that we're clear or understand that, because that's not it's not in the policy, or it's not anywhere documented.
Madam Chair, if I may, there was conversations about like smaller scale events. I have to look back at the records and information, but I can report back to the board on that. So I do remember something.
So I just want to make sure that we're clear, because if we as a board just set the budget and the precedents, and I'm all for doing a great event. I love throwing the events, I love hosting them, but I'd rather allow for our special events department to handle that with adequately funded and bring signature events through this department. So each one of us aren't doing large-scale events, that we're working through our special events department with proper funding. Ms. Franks, I know we had one signature event. What was the total cost of the 4th of July event?
It was, fireworks was $98,000 and the
Cost total.
celebration was $126, a total of $220 something.
So,
And the fireworks is budgeted every year.
right, every year. So as a board, remember, that came out of her special events budget, and because we're slating for 4, we have to take that into consideration. So there's events and large-scale events that are done all over the county. That was a tremendous event that's being talked about all over the state of Florida. I want us to continue to improve upon that, possibly looking at the 4th of July, possible Juneteenth event. And we come to the board, but take that into consideration, because I've worked with and done events for many years. They are very costly to bring in entertainment, to bring in hosts, to bring in these costs. So when we actually get that line item, don't be shell-shocked with the total cost that's going to come to the board. My computer died, so the rest of my notes are going to have to be saved for another date.
There it is.
And
There's
but
that
to
divine
that-
intervention.
to that point, colleagues, we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that I work directly with the Special Events Department and work with Ms. Franks on building out and helping with assisting that department as well. So I think that when we have the budget talks, we can talk about what the funding looks like, what's the support, making sure that we streamline the process. We want to attract local and national talent to come into the city and be able to do certain events here in the community. As you know, that Jazz in the Gardens Act just started here as Jazz on the Beach. But because of the politics, because of the cumbersome process, we weren't able to retain it, and now it's generating over $7 million for Miami Gardens on an annual basis for the city, in actual ad valorem dollars. So we can look at that contract and understand, not to mention the businesses that benefit. Old School Reunion, which is done here for many years, generates major dollars, where every vendor that comes to this event does very well at these events, and it generates a lot of activity for our community. So
Yes, thank you so
I
much,
wanna-
Mayor.
I
Thank
wanna-
you so much. I really
I'm
appreciate it.
just going to close out, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'm just going to close out. Thank you. And I know I'm long-winded with this, because it is one of the items I brought, but I
I
want
know,
to see if we can.
that's your passion, I know. but
I
yeah.
know. And I want to support Ms. Franks with this, so if we can bring it back to the budget and have the discussions to build it out. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Franks. You know what we're looking for now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very
And
good.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Mr. Evans, comments, discussion, City Manager.
Yes, Madam Chair. Very briefly, we did move forward with the Community Grants Program, and we were successful in moving 13 entities forward for funding, and we would be providing the board with the list of entities that would be funded for a total of approximately, I believe, $53,000. We have a remaining balance of the $100,000 of approximately $47,000. One of the things that, as we looked at the entities that we did fund, there was no entities that looked to service those with intellectual and developmental disabilities or physical limitations. And so one of the things I wanted to ask the board if we can spin up another grant application process to look to target groups that service that particular population before we move forward with the second allocation of funds that will come in October. So I'm asking the board if the board would authorize us looking to go after that particular target population, no different than we did with the other community grants.
Yes, please, move forward. That's the consensus. That's it?
That's all I need, Madam Chair.
Madam Attorney?
No comment, Madam Chair.
City Council reports. Statements by the mayor and the council. Dr. Spears?
No comments.
You know, I got this name all night. Commissioner Paneer, Davis Paneer.
All right. On behalf of the Davis family and myself personally, I do want to thank the manager's office, the staff, the police department, and everybody for their support during the homegoing services for my uncle, the late Pastor Reverend Griffin Davis. It really means a lot, and you all know he loved this city, and I thank you so much for showing your support. I also want to say job well done to the mayor and Sincere 2000. I heard great things about your event. Sorry, I would have been there had I not been at a conference, out of the state. So glad that you were able to service so many of our young people and our families in Riviera Beach. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilman Guyton? Mayor?
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I wanted to just say happy birthday to Dr. Spiritus. It's an honor to continue to serve with this board. This weekend was a phenomenal event with Sincere 2000, City of Riviera Beach, partnering with Ms. Miller Anderson. Thank you, and the entire police department, city staff, special events department. Thank you guys for all the work that you guys did for making sure we had a successful event, and just honored to continue to serve. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner, what? Commissioner Bill Anderson?
Just ditto in terms of the backpack giveaway. And sorry, I was unable to make it to Reverend Davis's funeral. I was actually in Texas during that weekend. But thank you. That's it.
That's it. I have no comments. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay, you got your gavel. You gavel, girl. I was going bam, bam again.
I got my gavel. I'm not.